live from an undisclosed location. It's the third annual Rudy Show. Woo! It's the pre-show starring your boys, Chris and Tom. Yes, thank you, Rude Nation. Yes. We're here again. Tom and Sherm live on the red carpet for the 2020 Rudy Awards. Tom, how's everything been this year, Tom?
Not bad so far. Pretty good so far. Can't complain. I don't see laughter.
He's got the jokes, ladies and gentlemen. This year's been a goddamn travesty.
I thought you meant this year.
No, we're talking about
so
the 20...
far.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, there's been a time paradox.
Yeah, you're fucking me up. You're fucking me up.
This is the banter that the people come watch the pre-show for the Rudies come for. You drinking already? Yeah, Tom's been in the bag. That's how we co-host the Rudies.
Absolutely.
Look at this ice cube. It's all fucking melty and shit.
Well,
that is what ice does. Yes, I get it, but it's like it's not melting. So anyway, we're here for the Rudies.
Yeah.
Red carpet appearance. We've got Zagreus from Hades. He's coming down the line. Very good. Wearing his toga and everything. Who else is down there, Tom? Who else is down there on the red carpet?
I see Link and Zelda looking very good as usual.
Very good. Yes. Sonic the Hedgehog getting some work done again. That's a joke. Hey.
I see,
thanks, Rude Nation. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the state rotation. Who else we got here coming up? Oh, it's the cast of The Boys. They're not nominated because I didn't see season 2.
Neither have I.
Alright, so I don't know what they're doing here. They're superheroes. They can do whatever they want.
Well, we want the boys here. We don't want,
you got Ya Boyz. Oh, they're the
Frightful Nine?
Yeah, something like the Frightful Nine. Yep. See, we don't know. We didn't see. We're not up to date on season 2 of The Boys, but the Mandalorian is here with Grogu. Yes.
Yes. We finally know the child's name.
Say the thing. Say the thing. He's not saying anything. I don't know.
What?
I tried to get a word from him. He just doesn't speak. You know. He's a mute. I don't know.
Who's a mute? The
Mandalorian.
Okay, you're saying he's a mute. He's a mute. I don't know who you're talking about.
There are 2 he's, yes.
Come on!
Alright, yeah, so...
I see,
here we go.
Ahsoka is also, coming down as well.
Live action star. Nominated twice, actually. Same for, best, returning television show, for Clone Wars final season, and also Mandalorian season 2.
Yes.
So, it's a big night for her. Yes, big night for everybody, big night for the boys, big night for Ya Boyz. Not the boys. They're not nominated. Sorry, the boys.
And big night for the nation.
Big night for the nation. So let's get this pre-show going on, Tommy, and we got to start it off proper. Tom, who is that in your mouth?
We have Cardo.
He's reading
the
name off the card, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, look.
This is journalism at its finest.
Absolutely. This was the House Targaryen Fire and Blood edition.
Right, I think it's a Scotch, correct?
Yes, it's a single malt Scotch whiskey.
Long-term fans of the podcast, of the Rude Nation, will remember that this was the gift that Tom bestowed upon me last episode of the Rude Boys PowerHour Plus for giving of the gifts. I have the same thing. In addition to this was also a gift that was given off the record, out of the recording studio. Let's say these beautiful map style glasses. I don't know what you would call them, but they're very fancy. They're fancy as fuck. And a nice decanter. So from Wine Savant, the wine savants of wine. I don't know.
I don't know how they got the ship in the decanter.
Magic. They probably shrank. It was probably a giant glass, and then they shrank everything down. Oh fuck! Probably that
magic.
So let's clink it up while we're on the red carpet. The red carpet clink. Damn.
First proper clink we've had in a while.
And first proper clink of the year.
I'm so glad it's in 2021.
Exactly.
Because usually we're just thudding it together.
This is very true. A lot of thudding going on, and a lot of activity going on the Rude Boys PowerHour Plus for the Rude Boys, the Rudies.
Yeah.
Pre-show.
Exactly.
Not a lot of Blitzkrieg news, but let's Blitzkrieg it up, Tommy.
Let us Blitzkrieg. So starting in games, as we always do.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in games.
Nothing in games. It's been it's been the award season.
Yeah.
So not a lot of news on that front.
In comics, Comics. We
Comics
have
news.
Yeah, we have Spidey's getting some new duds in March, which
did you see these?
Man, they don't look good.
So I have a picture of them right now. There you go.
Yeah.
It's like a gray and neon red trim with some blue body suit.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about this, Tommy. This
I don't like it.
This
I don't like
is
it.
Someone on Twitter mentioned that the new suit looks like a suit you would unlock in the game, and you'd scroll past it to get to a suit that you really want.
Absolutely.
And to be honest, I feel like it's if anything, it's like the stealth suit or the big time suit. It's going to be a suit for like he's got to fight the Rhino.
There's a reason he has it.
It'll pop up for 3 seasons. They're not changing.
3 issues.
Three issues. Sorry. They're not going. This isn't going to be the new suit. No. Come on now. You can't get past the red and blue duds.
Yeah. Or you know what?
The symbiote suit is one thing. The Iron Spider is another.
Yeah.
This is not those things.
This doesn't look good. No, unless this is going to be part of Civil War 3.
Civil War 3, getting more civil. Well, less civil, I guess. It's
getting less civil, probably something involving the... Or it could be a way for Spider-Man to absorb the Phoenix Force, because I know the Phoenix Force is going to be coming in. The Avengers will be
something like that. Yeah, it's quite possible. But nobody knows. We'll find out in March.
Yeah.
So there we go with that.
Nothing in movies.
Nothing in movies. The movie season is pretty much dead and buried.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks to Wonder Woman 84, which we'll talk about.
Man. Yeah, we will. Yeesh. Mamma mia. TV. Nothing.
Nothing in TV.
Wrestling. Stuff in wrestling, but not in wrestling.
So we'll get to those things.
Yeah.
So we're unfortunately starting off Blitzkrieg with a little bit of a whimper.
Yeah.
And some unfortunate news.
Yes. Thoughts and prayers to Tom Kane, who is recovering from a stroke.
So Tom Kane, for those who don't know, voice actor, has been doing the voice acting prowess and stuff for Star Wars Clone Wars. He voices Yoda, Akbar, General Yularen. He's a well-known voice actor.
Okay.
He suffered a stroke, actually maybe 2 months ago, and it just kind of his family kind of broke news to that. He's doing well. He's in good spirits. However, unfortunately, he might not voice act again.
Jesus.
So it's a shame. And you guys have definitely he's like the de facto voice of Yoda if it's not Frank Oz. So there you go.
And man, this is a rough one. R.I.P. to John Huber / Brody Lee / Luke Harper / Big Rig.
Yep.
Passed away from lung issues that were apparently non-COVID related.
That's
passed away in the Mayo Clinic, so it was something a little more serious.
Right.
Sadly, last time you saw him on TV, he lost the TNT title in October to Darby Allin.
Sure. He lost it to Cody, and I think Cody lost it.
Yes,
regardless,
sorry. You're right.
He dropped the title. Like a dog collar match or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. You know, what AEW did a...
Classy stuff, yeah. The entire tribute show. Yeah.
It was very... I got very, like, Eddie Guerrero, Owen Hart vibes.
Right, yes, I agree.
They gave his son, -1, the TNT title.
Right. They're going to reintroduce it with a new design, from what I understand. Yes.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
So they retired that look of the belt to his son.
Okay.
And his son is contracted also.
Yeah.
So when he becomes of age, he'll be
his
AEW,
his son is the one that made the main event.
Right.
Where it was...
I think he made the whole card, to be honest.
Yeah, but he really wanted to see Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and number 10 versus the... oh my god.
Inner Circle?
Was it Inner Circle?
I forget. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't recall. But regardless, the show from top to bottom, from what I gathered, I know you watched it.
I did. Very
respectful.
Very respectful.
It's one of those things, and unfortunately, it only happens when people pass.
Right.
Is that we're all able to kind of stop and reflect on the good out of a career of a man like that. And obviously, you know, as Luke Harper in WWE, he didn't really break the glass ceiling or anything like that. But he was a well-respected individual, a hell of a hand.
He was
a
great,
loved big man.
Super loved.
Exactly. From all tops, from all aspects of the business.
It was.
And it was great to see such an outpouring.
Yeah.
Again, unfortunately,
from both companies.
It was such,
actually, all three companies.
All companies.
Yeah.
Everyone who worked with him had only the best things to say.
Seeing Eric Rowan come out, that was pretty cool.
Yes. That was pretty good.
Or Joseph Rudd. as I think he's going by now.
Right.
It's very heartfelt, very cool.
Absolutely, yeah. They did a great job, and I think it sucks that when this happens, then everyone can play nice. Yeah. But it's real. Yeah. In a land of fake bullshit. When something real happens, then they're human. Yeah. They're everybody lost a brother. Yeah. So I'm glad. I'm glad of all the nice stuff. That's really all I got to say.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna keep my feelings for the other company, quiet because I'll leave it at that.
Well, I don't mean to defend anybody in this circumstance, but I mean there was a tribute from the WWE
at the beginning of each show. Right. Yes.
However, it's not really their place to I mean, he was an AEW star.
I understand.
So
that.
It is AEW's show to tribute them.
Yes.
The lack of a 5-bell salute,
10-bell salute.
A 10-bell salute. I'm so sorry. Because a 10-bell salute is one thing.
He has a lot of friends still within.
I agree, but
so, I understand, but I just kind of feel it was classless.
I feel like if they did it, it would have been selfish.
Okay.
And again, I don't mean to defend, but it wasn't their place to do it.
You know what I mean? But maybe also to give his friends, maybe that he still has within that company weren't able to celebrate, his life.
Whatever they did out off stage or anything like that is one thing. I think if they were to make a big deal out of it. Probably, don't get me wrong, would have been heartfelt. Would it have been in the right 100%? Maybe not.
Okay.
But what AEW did, I thought was phenomenal.
Absolutely,
and
I agree.
Honestly,
and
if WWE did something to that extent, it would have just been like, well, again, a man. It's a weird thing.
It's cool. It's a weird situation to see, like when people were coming out cutting promos and they were using his sayings like Drew McIntyre was like, oh, it's Monday night. You know what that means? Because he would always put that up on Twitter. So you know what? His friends in WWE were keeping and should be. You know what? Despite my feelings about Vince McMahon, his friends who are still in WWE made sure that he wasn't going to be forgotten. Which is
and
what
for them to be allowed to do that. That I think was enough.
Yeah, with this generation of WWE stars, I don't think that would stop them.
Well,
I really
the fact
don't.
That you had WWE stars even saying like, all right, on Wednesday there's going to be a tribute show for Brody Lee / Luke Harper /
and they were all John being Huber. Like, yo, don't,
And then when the show was over, they were like, that was beautiful, that was great, etc., etc. Again, I feel like that was AEW's time to shine.
Sure.
Because it was their star, the man they had under their umbrella.
Yeah.
What WWE did was fine. Could it have been more? Absolutely. I'm glad they did something. Let's put it that way, because again, we know how carny the business is, and they could have just been like, no, he's another guy. He plays on the other team. F him. You know what I mean? But I think that also shows how John Huber was as a man.
Sure.
That they had to be like, we tip the hat to you because you've been an asset to our team and to the wrestling world in general. And I think on that note, Tommy, we should clink it up.
Yes.
Rest in power.
Rest in power, sir.
And I believe that's it. That's it for Blitzkrieg News.
Yep.
So we're back on the red carpet, Tommy. We got some time to kill before the pre-show ends up, before the main event happens. Yep. So Tommy, what have you been up to this past this whole year, Tommy? No, not this whole year. Bad jokes. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and you're really bad at them. Well, on Christmas Day, we watched, my brother, my sister-in-law, we watched Wonder Woman 84.
Okay. Now, do you want to save this for the Rudies? Or would you like to save this for
the Tooties.
The Tooties.
Maybe I'll save it for the Tooties.
All right. So stay tuned.
It wasn't good.
I have heard that, and I heard it was getting good buzz, and then it came out, and I have seen more people hate on it.
Yeah.
For proper reasons. Not like, oh, it's a woman, or, like the knee-jerk reaction to comic book movie fans or people or viewers. But I've heard it's just not great.
No.
Which is a shame, because I thought Wonder Woman was one of the better DCU stuff that came out in this mishmash of movies since Man of Steel.
Yeah.
All the way to whatever the fuck Hack Snyder's popping out. Who, by the way, is not nominated. So deal with that. Maybe for a Tootie. Who knows? For 2021. But you've been playing a bunch of shit.
Yes.
All right, what have you been playing, Tom?
So, Christmas hit hard.
Sure.
I played I'm playing this game called Grindstone.
Yes, I think that was part of the Indie World Direct or something like that for December.
It's a
pretty big release.
Puzzler. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, cool.
It's like a puzzler, like make the lines and you can
a puzzler, make the lines.
And you're like this
elevator pitch.
You're like a barbarian, like going around and you kill these like little like creature minions, and to get to the exit. So,
sure,
it's fun.
Nice.
If it's on sale on the eShop still,
See, it doesn't seem does not seem like a game I would be into.
It's one of those games.
I said that about Hades, which is nominated for Game of the Year for 2020.
It's one of those games you could drop in and out of, which I like. So
you've been dropping in and out of a lot of games.
Jesus, yeah. I got Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Okay.
Remastered.
Sure.
Whew, man. I love Need for Speed, the one that they released on the PS2.
Okay.
Back in the day. It's just so much fun, like getting chased by the cops and such.
Which one is this? Hot Pursuit, you said?
This is Hot Pursuit.
Okay, so this is a lot of cops and robbers, sort of chasey stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
Very fun. Mario Tennis Aces.
Right, yes.
I got...
I know this is a return to form after Ultra Smash on the Wii U was a fucking dud and a half.
Right.
But Mario Tennis, I actually owned this game, however, I just did not put any time to it.
Sure.
Story of my life. And I'm looking at fucking a three-shelf Switch catalog right now, my goodness gracious. But Mario Tennis 64 was phenomenal. Actually got me into physically play tennis.
I enjoy this, and cool. Maybe we can check it out once we're done.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down for that.
I got the Season 2 pass of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Right, so you've been playing a little bit with the newer DLC
Yeah.
Correct?
I mean, Sephiroth is just,
Sephiroth's pretty much OP.
He's the cream of the crop.
Right.
To the top. Yes. Don't know if I talked about this last episode, but...
Well, what are your thoughts on the other two characters?
Oh, Steve?
Yeah, Steve from Minecraft, which I know Minecraft is a huge fucking get for you.
It just moves so weird.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm really waiting for, they're totally gonna put those fucking Among Us aliens in there.
Who knows anymore? Like when they double backed and did another Final Fantasy character, which I appreciate, don't get me wrong, because now you got more Final Fantasy spirits.
Yes.
You've got more
Final Fantasy music.
Music, definitely. Which stage, another character. I'm fucking down for that.
I said this last night, talking to someone, and just Final Fantasy and Castlevania, probably those game series probably have some of the best soundtracks in all of gaming.
I'm with you. Yeah. I wish that the So I want to take a step back into my head real quick. When Ultimate came out, I was really not furious. That's a poor choice of word. I was really upset that Cloud was even in it, and I thought Cloud.
I remember you kind of being annoyed.
Well, because when he was a DLC character was one thing when Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, I was like, oh my god, that's cool. You know what I mean? That's great because it's not a character that has really ever been associated with a Nintendo system per se, outside of a spin-off here and there. Final Fantasy VII never came to a Nintendo console until the Switch.
Yeah.
So there's that. However, when Ultimate came along, and now you have all of the everyone is here basically. So Solid Snake is back, Pichu, Wolf, all these people back. Every single character plus new ones: Simon, Richter, Inkling, etc., etc. Having Final Fantasy up there seemed like a joke. Because you had Cloud, you had his 2 spirits, which were just basically like, play the game and you got them.
Sure, yeah.
And his 2 songs. Okay. Don't get me wrong, I love the stage, and I love Cloud as a character.
Right.
But having, like, Capcom show up with Ryu, Ken, Mega Man, spirits, music, stages, assist trophies.
Yeah.
Konami.
Yeah.
Snake, Richter, Simon. Those stages, those trophies.
Give me fucking...
Sega. Namco.
Yeah.
Like, Square Enix showed up, and at that point, Hero wasn't involved. And Square Enix didn't even bother showing up, basically. You know what I mean? And then, don't get me wrong, when they introduced Hero from Dragon Quest, I felt like that was a good... For a series I'm not into.
Right.
That was a good way to...
I tried to get into that series. With that demo.
I was curious. I know when Dragon Quest IX came out for, like, the DS, people were fucking like, this is the real deal. And I'm like, I'm still not going to get into it. Yeah. But, like, hey, I'm always down for an accessible RPG. Yeah. I'll put it that way. Am I going to pull the trigger on it? Probably not. But what are you going to do? However, Dragon Quest was, they had the one character with the 4 different costumes that could, represent that stuff. And having Sephiroth, I think, is fine. Could it have been a different Square Enix character, like a Chrono from Chrono Trigger? Could it have been Geno from Super Mario RPG? Sure. Did it have to be Final Fantasy VII again? And did all the music have to be from Final Fantasy VII?
Well,
and Advent Children
has some of the great music.
6 has good music, from what I understand. I'm sure you can do a medley of like the fucking 1, 2, and 3. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that leads into me saying that they could have put this particular character in. I don't know if I talked about this on last episode. I've also been playing Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. Could put Squall in there.
You could. I feel like Squall is even more removed from.
Because he's
Nintendo
less known.
Characters, yes.
He's less known. Okay.
Yes, honestly, I feel like
still would be fucking bad. I'm such a sucker for that Gunblade.
If they wanted to do a Final Fantasy character, and I understand Remake came out since Cloud came into Super Smash Brothers, which is nominated for Game of the Year 2020. If to have Cloud, don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy poster boy, 100%,
absolutely,
and a lot of that has to do with. They switched over to the CD medium for PlayStation 1, and it was a revolution.
Yeah.
However, for a Nintendo-based fighting game, which also, yes, I understand, has Bayonetta and Donkey Kong and, Samus, Metroid, God, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Man, I should hit you with my Switch.
You really should, yes.
Just like...
35th anniversary, coming up this year. Can't wait for nothing to happen. No, for Metroid.
Maybe.
To have all of that is one thing, and then to bring in Sephiroth, again, a villain, super down for. I love it. Could have been Kefka from Final Fantasy VI, who I know, the fucking crazy clown guy. Again, Sephiroth, incredibly well known.
Right.
Anything out of Final Fantasy VII, incredibly well known.
Right.
Could they have gone off the beaten path? 100%.
Yeah.
I think a guy like Chrono from Chrono Trigger, that would have definitely been a big hoorah, because it's a remarkable milestone RPG and that's not coming from me. I played it, I did not like it, but I respect it for what it did.
Beat it though, right? Didn't you?
I got an ending, which was the bad ending, and I was good with that because I was done playing this game.
I remember.
I'm not an RPG guy, everybody.
I remember us at work.
Yeah,
and you were like,
I'm done with this.
You were dragging such ass on that game. You were just like, I fucking hate this game, and I'm like, why are you playing it?
There's a lot to love, but I just can't. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it.
It's really funny. Like,
I need someone like holding my hand to play a game like that.
So like, you need me or your fiance with you.
Yeah. Or like I need an FAQ with me at all times. Like a book. Not like, can I look up my phone? Like, give me a book. And I'm just like, what do I do here? Maybe just like, go here, go there. Go, like someone to guide me, please. But whatever. What are you going to do? I sold it. It was the DS version.
There you go.
What are you going to do?
And
so that's my thoughts on Final Fantasy and Super Smash Brothers.
And the funny thing is, like,
I have warmed up.
I really thought, like, I know we played...
Good throw.
I know we played Secret of Mana.
We did play a little bit of Secret of Mana, the remake for PlayStation 4.
I really thought I was like into like the Mana series. Man, my love for the Final Fantasy series has just been reignited. Like,
did you look into more of Trials of Mana or no? I know you were playing the demo, right?
Yeah, it just hasn't been on sale.
Okay, gotcha.
And when it is on sale, it's still too rich for my blood. Right, like...
That's like me with the Resident Evil games on Switch.
Exactly. Like, you know what?
It's on sale. You're on sale.
You give me a 75% off?
Well, sure, yeah.
Then we'll talk.
Sure.
But yeah, Final Fantasy VIII's pretty cool. I'm stuck. I'll get it. You know, that's the nature of the beast with Final Fantasies. You get stuck and you're like... All right, what do I gotta do different? Okay, maybe I should level up just a little bit more to, you know,
or something. Yeah.
You know. So, but I'll get it. I you know, I'm not giving up.
Sure, good.
I've also been playing this game called Implosion.
Yes.
Which is
there's a demo on the eShop.
Yeah, top down. I guess call it a beat 'em up.
It's a hack and slash.
Hack and slash. Yes. Thank you. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Hack and slash. I'll also call it a dungeon crawler.
It's a bit of a dungeon. It's like a mission-based dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
From point A to point B.
Yep.
I'm fairly confident it must have been like a mobile title because like it is very quick.
Yeah.
At least the demo was.
You know, what? And I'm drawing a fucking blank on the game. You and I played it on the PS3, where you were this guy like in a battle suit. It wasn't called Crisis. It was
Vanquish.
Yes, that's kind of the feel.
Oof.
Because you're a guy, you're in a battle suit.
Mech, yeah, but you're more. I mean, it's definitely more hack and slash than what Vanquish was. Vanquish was like a Japanese third-person shooter.
But like that's kind of the feel that I was getting.
Okay. I was not, but I can understand that. I can understand the. Better than your fucking Donkey Kong's beat 'em up or whatever the fuck you said.
Okay, look, I made a mistake once.
You also called, I think called Metroid a horror game.
It is.
I will give you. It's atmospheric. It's not a Rootober game because there's no. I mean, there's aliens. I might give you a slide on that. I might give you. I might like a slide.
Man, I can sleep tonight. Holy fuck. Yeah. And then, guess what?
You're still in front of a live studio audience, even on the pre-show.
Playing another Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy? What?
I got on Nintendo eShop. They had Final Fantasy.
How are you doing this? Sorry, I'll ask you when you're done.
A lot of shit's on the Switch, man, so I can travel with it.
Like, oh my gosh. It's one thing to have game ADD, but it's another thing to be like
game ADD that has like 80
hours.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just like, it's like I'm gonna read War and Peace and also Anna Karenina and like of Mice and Men. That's probably a skinny book, but you know what I mean. It's like, what are you doing? Well, whatever.
What are you doing with your life?
What are you doing? You just focus up and play one game.
Playing Final Fantasy X/X2 because it came with both.
Right. It
was on sale for about 50% off. So I was like, you know what? $25.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and
beefy games.
And I still had credit.
Right.
So
good. Hey. Spend it, baby.
I'm also playing Final Fantasy 14 online.
Sure.
And I just got the DLC for that, and Final Fantasy 15 just came in, so I'm gonna be tackling that once I'm done with 7.
Honestly, Tom, if you didn't, I feel like I love you to death. This is gonna crash and burn so bad. You will stick with 14 because 14 is just procedurally.
It's a constant.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. You're gonna drop some of these, man. But I would love for you to get into all of the Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
I want to live vicariously through you and play these Final Fantasies. I want to play 6 so bad. If it came to Switch, I would get into it.
I wish they would put these and I know it's such a slippery slope with Square Enix. Like put them on the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. On the
I agree.
Oh my god, those because I was playing what was it? Breath of Fire 1 and 2.
Sure.
Like just RPGs, man. Yeah. Like I don't know, my RPGs have really I've gotten reignited. Like
good.
The thing that I even go down and play on my PS3. I play the OG Final Fantasy VII.
Sure.
That one I like that one because I get to rename the characters. So it's like, if you're in those, if you make that name list,
you're in. Well,
you're important in my life.
So you're playing. So recap.
You
are playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. 8 Remastered.
Yep.
10
Remastered.
Are you playing 10 2 also?
No. Okay, no. I have to finish 10.
Oh.
You have to finish 10
To unlock 10-2?
No, to understand what the hell's going on in 10-2. It's been
sure. Yeah, no, 10-2 I know is a direct sequel.
It's been like close.
All right.
It's been a while since I played 10. It's been a while.
You said the thing.
I kind of want to, get refamiliarized with the characters.
Sure, I understand. I got you.
And the story.
Right. And you're playing 14.
Yep.
And
I have
just
15.
Obtained 15.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right.
And
16 will probably be out in a year or two.
All right, so I have time.
Yeah, you got time, buddy. I would. Yeah.
And I'll probably end up picking up because I know I it's your copy of 7 that I have.
Right.
So I'll probably end up picking up 7 on my own.
Sure.
And then
I'll probably play that this year. I didn't touch it. Bonnie did.
Who the fuck knows when 7 Part 2 comes out?
That's gonna be if they're focused on 16. That's it. That's gonna be it for a bit. Don't get me wrong. Like I feel like Square is a big enough company. They could juggle different. I mean, obviously the Enix portion has pushed out Dragon Quest 11 on multiple consoles, and the Square portion has done Final Fantasy VII Remake, Kingdom Hearts, all that shit, Trials of Mana, the remake. But yeah, 16 I think is going to be their focus on for a little bit. And
honestly, from what I've seen for 16, it looks like just that full motion movie. It looks fucking good.
Sure. It's just something. It's a glaring omission, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I will play remake.
I mean, I think if they
and I would love to play 6 if that came to a system that I had in my hand.
6 technically 3?
Well, no, 3 is technically 6.
Right.
The last one on Super Nintendo.
Right.
It's basically where we leave it off with that. But yeah, it's a glaring omission. I'm not an RPG guy. And I'm surprised, Tommy, you weren't big on Xenoblade Chronicles, which the definitive edition is not nominated this year because it is a great game. However, it's kind of a remastered edition.
Well, it's great. I just really started getting
one of my favorite JRPGs, and I don't play a lot of them.
I just started really getting into this whole. So RPGs for me for the longest time was turn-based.
Right. Okay.
So I just really started getting into this real-time battle.
I got you. Okay.
That's why I never played 12. Because 12 I was just like...
12 I think is active time, right?
It is. Right. It's the real-time battle.
I've heard good things about 12 also.
Right. But at that point in time, I was an angry young lad.
Sure. And you're like, this isn't my RPG.
I was like, this is not my Final Fantasy.
Sure, I got you.
So I was kind of like, fuck you. No, I'm not playing this.
Got it.
And I won't play anything like this. And then... fucking, I played 14, and I was just like, oh man, this is...
14 has to be active time, right?
Well, I'm sorry, 7, but I played 7 before 14.
Right, but I'm saying how you're playing 14. 14 is like a MMO,
totally.
Right? So you're...
Yeah.
Got you.
The only thing that I hate about 14 is because to progress in the story, you have to do dungeons.
Okay.
But sometimes you have to do dungeons with other players.
Okay.
Now, even though it's... From what my experience is, it's been a very positive community. Unlike Warcraft, from what I'm told, it's just a horror show. Like,
sure.
From what I hear, like the Warcraft gaming community, like people will just sit there and cut you down in the worst possible way if you're not up to par.
Gamers?
Yeah.
Would do that?
Yeah.
No.
But with 14, from what I gathered, my main character that I play as. Oh, and that's the other thing. On 14, I have like 12 different characters.
So you're playing like 12 different versions of Final Fantasy XIV.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I'm a monster.
Right. You are a monster. You're the fucking beast. You're the green emerald weapon.
Yes. So my main character, he's considered a tank. So like I'm supposed to be up front.
Yeah.
But there are points and times where like for some reason my battle stance doesn't stay on, and I'm like. And I'm trying to hit shit, and I'm like, I've only ran into a couple of jerks.
Okay.
Otherwise, people are like, yo, dude, hit this and you'll be good. And I'm like, oh shit, thanks. That,
right. That's good. Yeah.
Granted, it's so hard, like, especially like when they're trying to talk to me, because it's not, you don't use a headset, like
right,
it's keyboard, and I'm like, I can't type with one hand. Right. I can do a lot of things with one hand. I can't type with one hand. Thanks, Nation.
I hear a lot of good things about the. This is turning slowly back into the Rude Boys Gamecast. I've heard a lot of good things about the community for Monster Hunter in the same sense, where because it is more community, you need to work together, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like it is less about the individual and more about the team. And I mean, for what Final Fantasy 14 did, I know it had some a real rocky start, but I mean, it sounds like it's cultivating a great environment, and you're having fun with it. And that's really what it all comes down to.
You know,
when it comes to gaming.
I'm part of like a free company, which is like a guild
or something. Okay.
And like we all just support each other. We're like, hey, how do you, if we're sitting there like waiting for because like to do a dungeon, you have to have a tank, you have to have a healer, and you have to have
like a specific party.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, so then it's just like, we'll talk to the, I'll talk to my free company and be like, hey, can anyone who's a healer log in and, if you're available. So, it's such great people that I've met so far.
I'm glad you're having a good time, man. If 2020 delivered anything, it was this to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Is that it for the gaming, or my goodness gracious?
That's it. Yeah, I know. This is a rarity for me to do all this gaming.
Well, Tom, the nation hotly anticipates when you will drop all of this because you'll get angry or something else will come along.
Nope.
All right, you heard it here first.
Like I said, my love for Final Fantasy has been reignited, and I fucking love it. It's so much fucking. I'm having so much fucking fun with it.
Good, I'm glad.
All Final Fantasy games I'm having fun with right now.
Awesome.
He's really waiting until the next episode to be like, for me to be just like, fuck Final Fantasy, blah, blah, blah.
It's like, I dropped that. Nah. All right, good. Hey, stay with it, man. Again, I want to live vicariously through you with that stuff. I have been playing stuff we're going to get to. Part of the Rudies. But I've been reading some stuff too, Tommy.
I see that.
I think ever since this year, if that has done anything, I have gotten into reading a lot of my graphic novel backlog. And also just new shit. Like we went to Grasshoppers. We've mentioned them on the podcast before. Got some other stuff. Oh, they gave me a free temporary tattoo. Cool. Yeah, they gave me King in the Black tattoo. It's fucking dope.
Nice.
Right? Pretty cool.
That would actually make a really good real tattoo.
Yeah, might hang on to that.
So what? Did you have to spend
No, you know what? I saw them on the counter, and I made a note. I was like, oh, these are pretty cool. And he was just like, yeah, take one. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks. But hey, yeah, shop local, everybody. So I picked up Thunderbolts. Classic. Thunderbolts, for those who don't know, it was a new team that came out. It was after Onslaught. It was around the same time as Heroes Reborn.
It was after Onslaught?
It was after Onslaught, yeah, because there was a void in the Heroes. There were no Avengers, Fantastic Four, Iron Man, they were all gone. So it's a brand new team of heroes, and it turns out that they're bad guys. Oh my god! They're kind of reformed.
That whole story. I'm sorry, I'm hijacking you.
That's okay.
They've had such a different teams.
Oh, absolutely.
On there,
yes, absolutely.
There was one point Luke Cage was running it.
Sure.
And then Punisher and Elektra were running and they're all wearing red.
They kind of turn into a team of rotating vigilantes or anti-heroes. Like the Thunderbolts then kind of just straight up become I know post-Civil War, post-Secret Invasion, they're just straight up villains hunting heroes.
Yeah.
At that point. But I mean, Marvel has a long history of villains that reform and become good guys. I mean, look at Hawkeye. And I know Hawkeye ends up leading the Thunderbolts at some point.
Yes, so, after I won't give anything away.
After the character Citizen V, who is the original leader of the Thunderbolts.
I think was Citizen V also known as Baron Zemo?
That's the spoiler I thought we were trying to avoid.
No, I don't know.
No, he is. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Baron Zemo.
I was just kind of fucking.
This guy is Beetle. She's Screaming Mimi or some shit.
And then you have Moonstone, who ends up becoming Captain Marvel in Dark Siege.
There's also Dark Siege. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap with this stuff.
Yeah, Spider-Man's heavy in that too.
Well, yeah, because I think again, you got a lot of the team
that came 90s from
art.
I love.
90s art, the Mark Bagley art.
I love that art. I actually had that cover, the one you just passed, the one where it was all of them and Zemo was at the top.
Sure. Yeah, Fixer, Beetle,
Yeah.
Screaming Mimi, Goliath, Moonstone,
Songbird.
Baron Zemo.
Yeah, Songbird became like a major part of Marvel after Thunderbolts.
Okay, yeah,
like,
sure, I believe it.
Like she was huge, like in Civil War.
Okay. I also picked up book 1 and 2 of the Ultimate Spider-Man Ultimate Collection.
Nice.
And
more of that Bagley art.
More of the Bagley art, 100%. Obviously, the Ultimate Universe, Tommy, a brief history of the Ultimate Universe.
It was the Marvel Universe, just a little bit darker and a little more fucked up.
It was a little more new too. Like, I mean, I feel like it basically took like the heroes that we know from the 616 that had been around in the 40s, 50s, 60s, etc., and just made them like, okay, now it's 2000,
and put them in,
and now here's Peter Parker. He's a kid, you know. So obviously, this takes a lot, like the Tom Holland Spider-Man MCU stuff. I feel like takes a lot of this, a lot of the Miles Morales stuff,
a lot of that stuff.
Well, yes, you're right, because this came out around the same time as the movies.
Fucking organic webbing.
But I think having Spider-Man as a kid genius, you see Tom Holland portray that as opposed to the older high school, university, etc. of Peter Parker that we're used to in the 616. So I'm excited about that. This little skinny book, I did not know it was that skinny. X-Men God Loves, Man Kills.
Classic X-Men story.
Book. Man, this, I'm so surprised. This had to be like 2 issues. Like, that's crazy. But it's a great... It's one of the most influential X-Men books out there.
I'm definitely... it's on my watch list.
And I got the first 2 editions of the 2015 Star Wars comic book. When Marvel basically got the rights from Dark Horse back. It's been a good year for Star Wars, I think. And I mean, again, it's Clone Wars nominated for returning TV show. Same with Mandalorian. The year it began. Also, we played Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I played Force Unleashed. So I mean, Star Wars is up there, man. For better or worse, it's one of my favorite things out there.
I mean. Now, you read the stories that are in that book. In those books?
I have not. So, I read, it was on, like, Prime Reading or something like that, the concurrent Darth Vader book.
Right.
Which basically, like, the premise of that was Vader was kind of, wiggling away from the Emperor, trying to do his own thing, and that's when he hires Boba Fett to hunt down who destroyed the Death Star. And then that's when he finds out that, oh, that's my son.
Right, and that has like one of my favorite pages.
Yes, I know.
Where he's standing in the Death Star and all of a sudden like windows crack, and I'm like, wouldn't that destroy the Death Star anyway?
I mean, I'm sure he knows his strength,
Sure, yeah.
But those are my pickups from Grasshopper.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to that. However, I read some stuff. I picked up on the cheap Spider-Man One Moment in Time. I actually wanted to grab this upstairs, but whatever, I can walk through it. So Spider-Man One Moment in Time. Want to take a pause? Let's take a pause.
I was gonna just crack open a...
All right, let's not take a pause. Tommy's going to get a drink, enjoy himself, get a little champagne of beers, Miller High Life, established in 1903. The champagne of beers, the perfect beer for the Rudies. I'm sticking with the Scotch, though.
Put this with the... Well, no, I see. I brought a 12-pack, not knowing you would just not...
Also, you bought that 12-pack for yourself.
Well, yes.
Technically.
It was leftovers, but I figured me and my friend could share it.
There it goes with that.
But I understand your...
Yeah, I'm trying to drop the LBs, so I'm
trying to
stay away from the beer.
Well, after this 12-pack, I will be joining you.
Okay.
We will support one another.
I appreciate that.
And, your boys will get a little more fucked up with hard liquor.
There'll be a little less of your boys physically, but a lot more the same old boys.
Absolutely.
So I read Spider-Man One Moment in Time. One Moment in Time is a story where they explain what happened from the events of Spider-Man One More Day / Brand New Day. That whole controversial storyline. What do they call John Cena? Not controversial. They call him the most polarizing WWE superstar. Like, this is a very polarizing storyline. Nobody liked it. It was basically...
I hated it. I hated that they did it.
Spider-Man gives up his secret identity during Civil War. He thought that was a great idea. Turns out, guess what? He's got a lot of villains, and that was the whole. That was the whole point of keeping a secret identity, keeping his people safe.
Yep.
So what happens? Someone tries to shoot Mary Jane. Aunt May gets shot. Oh my goodness!
Should have just let the old bag die.
That was something I wanted to pick up. I wanted to pick up Back in Black, where Spider-Man
he's just wearing
shit out of Kingpin,
and he's just wearing the black suit.
Yeah,
because what was it? It wasn't like an actual it was just some jabroni assassin, right?
Well, yeah, but it came from the Kingpin.
I know, no, but I'm trying.
Yeah, it was just some jabron.
Yeah. I mean, if it was Bullseye, she would have been dead.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
God damn it.
So
I think Bullseye was dead at that point anyway.
So Aunt May knocking on death's door. And then we come to a situation where Peter and Mary Jane are interacting with Mephisto, which is the devil of Marvel Universe. And they come to a conclusion. There is a conclusion that is come to where for the marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane, we will bring back Aunt May. And his secret identity will be nobody will remember.
Right. And is there some didn't Doctor Strange know it, but he casted a spell.
So because I don't really know the specific details of those books. Yeah. Brand new One More Day and Brand New Day. I don't know. It's a lot of compiled summaries, but that's basically what happened. Peter and Mary Jane are not married. They're almost back to square one, and nobody remembers Peter's identity.
What?
Wow. So what One Moment in Time does is it's Peter and Mary Jane sit down and they have a talk. They have the talk that they haven't had in months from that moment, and they reflect on what exactly went wrong. And it's cool because it does a little bit of it takes some 80s style art and writing that would have been when Peter and Mary Jane got married.
Right.
And then they tweak it in a way of something different happened. Almost like a butterfly effect.
Right.
Basically, this one gentleman was able to break out of a Spider-Man a bank. There was a bank heist or something like that, and one guy ended up getting free. And then Peter tries to chase him, slips up or something, and basically knocks himself unconscious. Misses the wedding completely. But that realization puts into Mary Jane's mind that unless you're willing to give up the suit, we can't be married. Because it's a matter of, Mary Jane has to worry both about Peter's well-being. Maybe Peter got cold feet as a human being, as a man. Or maybe Spider-Man got killed by the fucking Scorpion, she has to worry tenfold about the man she loves. So later down in the line, once this whole timeline is continuing, Aunt May still gets shot. I guess that's how the continuity goes. But Mary Jane is the one that is she gets more closure out of this because now Peter is back in her life as a friend because they know that, or at least again in this timeline, they know that is where that's as far as they can go. I thought it was a good story. For again, not knowing really the details of One More Day, which actually was 60% off at Grasshopper.
Yeah.
And I should have just picked it up just to check it out. But I didn't, because again, it does come with a lot of baggage.
I don't like it.
I would actually prefer to probably start from Civil War and then go that way.
Sure.
Because I want to see where they're hey, this was a good idea to have Peter Parker divulge his secret identity. And then, blah, here we go. Retcon.
Civil War had some awesome, stuff in it. And
sure.
I can't wait for you to
actually, no, Civil War was on discount also there, but they had it was it's like a movie tie-in cover. Yeah, I was not.
You don't want that. You don't.
Plus,
want
I told
that.
you I want the big. Give me everything, baby.
Yeah. If they have it.
Yeah, that's probably, I'm sure that's out of print for a while. So I read that. I also read Secret Wars. Okay. Now, this is the 1983-84 version.
Yeah.
Not the one that came out in 2015 or something like that. But same idea. There's basically a battle world, and a group of heroes are chosen, and a group of bad guys are chosen to come together to fight and do shit like that.
If I remember correctly, the heroes, definitely outweighed the villains. Like,
well,
there were a lot more heroes than there were villains, but I kind of feel, if I remember, the villains had a lot more firepower.
I agree. So we'll start it off like this. The Secret Wars really came to be because Kenner got a toy deal with DC. So then DC started pushing out, I think there was the Superpowers line or Superheroes line or something like that. Like Superman's got a cloth, a ring cape and stuff like that. And Batman's got the retractable belt.
And you press the legs and they go...
Something like that, yeah.
Well, the retractable belt was for the 1989.
Oh, Batman. my bad.
Yeah.
But basically, DC got into the toy business. So then... I forget the name of the company that put that. I know it wasn't Kenner, right? Because then Kenner did Star Wars also, but did Kenner do DC? I think Kenner did DC.
I can't remember. It wasn't Hasbro.
There's no way to know. But either way, a toy company came to Marvel and was like, "Listen, we got to make some action figures based off your property. And is there any way we can get all this stuff together? Look at some synergy involved, you know? Let's do that." I know boys love the word secret and they love the word wars. So come up with something like that. And then they said, how about Secret Wars? And then they said, yeah, okay, that's fine. That classic Simpsons bit. So Secret Wars is probably the first big-time Marvel crossover event. And I'm talking about like that. I'm not talking about like Hulk shows up in the Avengers or something like that, or Spider-Man shows up with Fantastic Four. I'm talking about like Marvel took their time out to put out a 12-issue series called Secret Wars to have all of the hottest, questionable characters at the time and put them out on display. And yes, it was a tie-in for a toy line,
right?
Which was, I'm setting you up, Tom.
I'm real.
Still no way to know.
No, it was Kenner. It was Kenner.
Kenner for DC.
Yes.
Okay. So who did the Marvel one though?
Because
I know Toy Biz probably wasn't around. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That's them. All right. I know. I don't think it was Toy Biz. I think Toy Biz was like 90s.
I don't say Hasbro. I feel like hasn't Hasbro been around for a while?
Hasbro has been around for a while. There's no way to know, but I'm gonna keep it talking.
Sure.
So the premise of Secret Wars, for those who don't know, is that this cosmic entity known as the Beyonder wants to take the best of Earth's heroes, good guys, we'll say, and the best of Earth's villains, and put them, or then some, and whomever can beat the other team gets all of the power of the Beyonder, or gets a big time wish.
Right.
And on the good team, you have your heavy hitters, Hulk, Captain America, and some of the Avengers. You got Wasp, Thor, Captain Marvel, who is Monica Rambeau.
Yes.
At this point, you also have Spider-Man. You have some of the X-Men, so you have Charles Xavier, who's walking and talking and doing all this shit. Mattel. Okay, that's how to put the action figures out. Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Storm. Again, pretty much a lot of the heavy hitters from that time period, and also Magneto's on that side. So that's a little cause for concern with the Avengers, let's say, because they know Magneto as
I think
mutant terrorists.
I think this also was it. He wasn't the headmaster yet.
No. I have no idea. I don't know. 84.
I don't think he was.
I don't think so either.
Because that's when the trial of Magneto happens and he's wearing the costume with the giant M, the purple cape, and the sleeve. Like,
well, he must have gotten that out of the fucking Wasp's closet when he fucked her, because that's what happened also in this thing. The Wasp stinks in this book.
Man!
Sorry, I had a real issue with how the Wasp was portrayed.
I see that.
And I'll get into that. But yes, you have Magneto on the good guy team, which is like, what's going on here?
So, I don't think he was put there on the good guy team.
Well, I'll tell you, he was put on that team because his wants aligned more with... He wants peace. Magneto wants peace.
Absolutely.
Basically what it comes down to. And the Beyonder saw that as, okay, you're with this team, versus a gentleman like Dr. Doom who wants power.
Sure.
So he's on the bad team. Like, that's where they explain it like that.
It's a little more fresh in your mind. Yes. The way I saw it reading it when I was a kid.
Sure.
Was he was put there because he was a mutant, and that's where the mutants were put.
I can understand that, but in the same sense,
if Namor was pulled for the villains, I think Magneto probably would have been put with the villains.
But okay, so you split the Asgardians, because on the bad guy's side you have Enchantress, you have Dr. Octopus, Lizard.
Essentially, the Wrecking Crew are considered Asgardians.
Are they?
Apparently, the crowbar is infused with Asgardian magic.
In the 80s, was that a retcon?
No, that was...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, so there you go. Absorbing Man, you got the Wrecking Crew Wrecker and Pile Driver.
A lot of
Molecule
Man.
Molecule Man, yeah. Who can control
Pile
molecules?
Driver, not Pipe Driver.
I don't know, just putting words together.
You want to pipe?
Crane, boy. The Wrecking Crew. Those fucking C-listers. Ultron is there. Kang is there. It's gotta be Kang. So Galactus also. So
Galactus was just kind of just chilling there for most of the time, right?
Galactus is so beyond this, no pun intended.
He's just so tired.
I said no pun intended. Stop that. Not a joke.
He's tired of it.
He's tired, yeah. So what I liked about this, and the writing. So the writing really kind of went, like, was good writing and bad writing. Good writing in the sense, and this goes back to our last Trading the Backs when I read Fatal Attractions, and to have one writer voice so many different characters is very admirable, I feel, and to give them such distinct personalities. And they did that well in this book. Like Captain America, he's leading by example. Reed Richards, smartest guy in the room. Dr. Doom. He
lets you know.
Yeah. Dr. Doom talks about himself constantly.
Megalomaniac.
Enchantress wants to get that
banged.
Mjolnir.
She wants to get banged.
So bad.
Yeah.
Instead, Wasp is worried about breaking a nail, which is what's annoying me so much.
Enchantress will just deal with a crowbar and getting pile-drived.
Yeah, which happens. She-Hulk's there, too. Yeah, I forgot about her. Also, Iron Man, we didn't talk about that. Iron Man, who was James Rhodes at the time.
Yep.
But Iron Man's dealing with the fact that he's in this incredible piece of technology, and also, the fact that he's a black man. Like they still talk about that stuff. You have the internal conflict between the mutants and the rest of the heroes because of they're on the same side, but they're different, there's obviously a little bit of friction because Magneto's a mutant, it's all honest to goodness, good writing. But because you have one writer writing everybody, you have issues where people are calling everybody turkey, and all the men are calling the females broads, and look at the legs on this one, and they call
I'll never drop that talent.
Yeah. They call Volcana a bloated sow at one point. Like, what the heck is going on, man? A lot of horniness, too, in the 80s. I don't know if you know this, Tom. A lot of horniness because,
right now.
Because, like, all the ladies have... they got a fucking plunge-deep neckline. They have the highest of heels and the shortest of skirts. Collars. Spikes and stuff like that. Absorbing Man is just there watching it all go by. Like, it's just so weird. And everybody says what they're thinking, and... I feel like I read a chapter book and not a picture book. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And I think at the end of all that, like when it was done, I think Absorbing Man and Titan actually end up getting married.
Oh boy.
Or they end up together.
Good for them. Those two crazy kids.
Yeah. One of the greatest things that I remember from that is when the X-Men were talking about like leaving the other heroes to go to Magneto.
Yes.
And then you have that...
Because they know Magneto. Right. They have dealt with Magneto. Yes. And with the Avengers see Magneto as a terrorist.
Yeah.
Again, he could have been a human terrorist.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was a mutant, then it was like, okay, now the X-Men have to, it's like, listen, we know Magneto. We can vouch for him. Let's try to talk to him. We got to work together, buddy. We know we can get to you as opposed to getting to Doom or... Right. Dr. Octopus or something like that.
But then, like, Spider-Man hears the conversation, not really, like, understanding.
He kind of sees
that
a little bit.
He kind of sees the X-Men are going to be like, oh, shit, they're turning coats on us.
Exactly, yes.
And then you actually, you see Spider-Man, like, take out all the fucking X-Men. Yep. Like, uses Nightcrawler against Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, there are some great moments, don't get me wrong. And I think a lot of this has to deal with the interactions between the different characters.
Yeah.
Not a lot of She-Hulk interactions, which I guess they've interacted. So I guess that's fine. Not a lot of Spider-Woman, Spider-Man interactions, which was weird because they kind of debuted Spider-Woman in this series. But what are you going to do? And as far as the villains are concerned, Doom obviously shines.
Yeah.
Him trying to steal the power from Galactus is very Doom-like.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me honestly think of Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Which, because prior to this, and again, not a Fantastic Four follower or anything like that, but to me, it made it seem like, oh, they're just shoehorning Doom again. But I'm like, nah, Doom would do that. Doom would try to steal the power cosmic and do that. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, first, I didn't realize that until Secret Wars.
Like, he took the Beyonder down, and then didn't he, take Galactus down with one punch?
Well, he stole while Galactus was trying to devour Battleworld, he gets stopped. So then spoiler for a fucking 3-decade almost storyline, he then devours his home world, which is like this weird giant space system or whatever that he brings in. Doom ends up siphoning that power instead. So he has the strength with Galactus plus his own magic and science and shit. He goes up against the Beyonder, takes his power.
And what's the first thing he does when he gets
cleans his face up.
That shows you how vain he is.
That's exactly what Reed says.
That shows you how vain he is. But he was still wearing the mask for a bit, right?
It was on and off. You know what I mean? Like, but once he knew, like, oh, I'm cool.
Honestly,
he was off more.
MCU, we were saying it. Make Secret Wars.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't want to see Kang as the next big bad.
Kang.
I'd love to see Doom.
Kang was a jabroni in this.
Kang is a jabroni.
I figured nowadays Kang is he's been a little more built up. You couldn't tell me back in the fucking 60s Kraven would have been a fucking player. You know what I'm saying?
Not in that outfit.
Not in that, exactly. But,
once he put pants on?
Once a writer gets a hold of a character and gives them a great story people can sink their teeth into, then, hey, they're a player.
Kang became a player in my eye, and I know he's always a player, because like in the 80s and
he was on Secret Wars, well, so was Pipe Drop, so.
Pile Driver. Kang, to me, became a bigger deal in Young Avengers.
Right.
So, I mean, you gave me...
I know of Young Avengers.
You bestowed those books upon me.
Yes.
I don't know if you actually read them.
I know enough of them.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Have I read them? I might have. I don't remember.
Okay.
But regardless of the dips in writing quality, it was good art.
Good.
I liked the story. And I'm glad it wasn't just a simple kind of cash grabby sort of like, let's just put good guys versus bad guys so people can play with their action figures.
Who wrote that? Do you remember offhand?
I think it was Jim Shooter.
Okay.
Who was the editor-in-chief at the time. I did a little research because I was curious.
Good man.
So Jim Shooter wrote that. I liked it.
This was.
I want to read more of these big time crossovers. That's what I'm getting at.
This was a big time crossover, and sometimes you get that whole different art style.
Yeah, this was consistent.
Which is what I did.
And it was good art too.
Yeah.
For 80s art, which sometimes I'm like kind of hit or miss again because I'm a child of the 90s and upcoming anime and stuff like that. We were talking about our artists. You might like more of the realistic anatomical look.
I just like the way Jim Lee draws characters.
Right. You also like how Chris Bichello drew Psylocke in that one page you looked at. But you don't like his art because it's more boxy. It's a little and the faces look a little weird. I'll give you that, but I like it.
And I get so much shit when I say I don't like the Ramirez. I'm not a fan of how the Ramirez draw. I'm sorry. Ramirez Sr. I like. I believe he wrote Death of Gwen Stacy.
Yes.
Okay.
Junior.
Ramirez Jr.?
Junior now, if I will read his stuff. When I was reading Spider-Man back in the 90s, and it was Bagley on Amazing and Sal Buscema or whatever on Spectacular, I was like, well, that's the dip. John Romita, who was Junior, who was drawing Spider-Man, that was also the low point. Whoever was drawing Webb, I liked his stuff. And obviously Bagley I thought was fun.
Amazing Spider-Man I guess it went like one of the relaunches of Amazing Spider-Man when J. Michael Straczynski was writing it.
Okay.
Marlowe was introduced,
right? Okay.
And Ezekiel. I suffered through the Romita Jr. part because that writing was just so
sure. And like, see, the writing.
Have you read the J. Michael Straczynski stuff?
I don't recall. I'd have to.
He did the 9/11 tribute issue.
Didn't he write fucking One More Day?
Straczynski?
Yeah. I feel like he did. I remember looking at that cover and I saw that name.
Really?
Yeah. No, we didn't know. We don't do research here on the Rude Boy PowerHour Plus. Spider-Man's our boy. I don't know who wrote him. Blah, la, 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 la.
It's okay. Look, I don't know. Dude, I don't know who writes half of the X-Men shit.
Yeah, that's a good one. Again, because I feel like I'm more artists. I like that look, man.
And the thing is, I kick myself in the ass when I don't know writers because I'm more writer-based.
Right. So, there you go. I mean, it's a matter of, I know names. I don't know who writes the things that I like. You know, right, it's weird to say. But I like the art. Like I'm looking at Bagley art right now. We talked about
it was
Chris Bocella. It was Straczynski.
He failed the city, man.
Oh boy. Well, everybody has their day.
Yeah. Well,
every dog has his day.
Everyone has one more day.
I guess that's it. That's all I've been. That's all I've been.
That's all you've been up to.
Yeah. And really? That is all I've been up to.
To the 2020 Rudies. It is Franco Morbius, your host for the evening, and we will be celebrating the shit year that was 2020. I did not get enough suckage with my hands because of a virus, which is ridiculous. I am hungry. And I am fading away. But now, to introduce our first nominees, here is Buddy!
Thank you, Michael. I'm here to present the Rudy for Best Video Game of 2020. Your nominees are Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Hades, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Spider-Man: Miles Morales, Streets of Rage 4, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. And the award for Best Video Game of 2020 goes to Hades! Congratulations, Hades! Unfortunately, Supergiant Games could not be here to accept the award. Here to accept the award, the Rude Boys.
Ooh, starting off strong, Tommy. Woo! Best game of the year, Hades. Thank you, Supergiant Games. Thank you, Rude Nation. Thank you to Ya Boyz, which are us, because we decided this. But yeah, Hades, game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Hades has just been winning game of the year everywhere.
It absolutely has, man. You know what? It brings
which is odd for a small studio game.
And you know what? It brings me back to when Telltale won for The Walking Dead Season 1.
Okay.
It was going up against some strong competition that were like locks for a lot of Game of the Years. And sure enough, it won. It was up there with it, man. Put Telltale on the map for better or worse. And now here Supergiant Games is getting the most prestigious award in multimedia, the Rudies, Best Game from 2020.
What was it about Hades that made you be like, this is the game of the year for us?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit. We had an accidental game club. The voice acting, I think, was the great. Again, the gameplay, solid.
Yes.
The hook for the game, absolutely solid. I think what brings you back is a lot of the story, a lot of the voice acting. The music is great. Yeah, the graphic is great.
It was the music.
I think it was just all the little chef's kiss, the little flair on this game.
Yeah.
Because like a roguelike game, isometric, that doesn't sound like a Sherm game.
No.
You know what I mean? Greek mythology, okay. I like the look of it, the feel of it, and it really hooked me, man. 2020 Game of the Year goes to Hades. Congratulations, Supergiant Games. But let's talk about some of the other nominees, Tommy.
Sure.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was a game I did not touch. I watched Bonnie play it. Gorgeous.
Yeah,
we'll definitely play it. Will be the way I play a Final Fantasy. We talk about Final Fantasy. Will be the game I play.
Sure.
Will be the Final Fantasy game I play. But you're playing it a little bit.
Yeah.
You're digging it. You have Final Fantasy history, so there you go.
I mean, that game
clearly and future.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future.
Exactly.
It is just such a fantastic game.
Right.
Like you said, gorgeous. Love the voice acting.
Sure. Well done. Yeah.
Like, very well. I mean, definitely a lot different from like, hey, we did, 20,000 million pixels for Cloud's spiky hair, and we're gonna give him hooves as hands.
Sure.
Definitely a upgrade. Just like and I kind of like how it just like there's a lot of callbacks. It seems because it has like I'm sure you saw like those hooded figures that like fly around, and it's like it's so well done, and it makes me really look forward to seeing what they have coming out for the second remake.
Sure.
And I know I was like one of the people coming out being like, ugh, I'm like, you're giving us an incomplete game, but from what I've seen so far, it's like it's good long hours.
It's a solid amount. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like an 80, 90 hour epic that Final Fantasy VII was.
Yeah,
it's a solid game.
Yeah,
that it looks good, and I think does enough stuff different from, again, my knowledge of what Final Fantasy VII is or was, to make it a new game, basically.
Yes. Yep.
So congratulations on your nomination. Another game that I think was a very solid handling of a franchise that kind of existed for a little bit, Miles Morales, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Solid game. Would have been my personal game of the year. However, it did not give me the same impact as the first Marvel Spider-Man game did.
I can understand that,
It was refined. Don't get me wrong. It's like the Assassin's Creed 2 to the Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Where they took what worked and made it better.
Sure.
And what didn't, they refined it until it did. And I know, Tom, you'll get your hands on this game this year, guaranteed.
Yeah.
You'll have a blast playing it. A Venom Blast! Whoa! I didn't mean to do that, but that worked out very well.
That's how I feel about most of Chris's jokes.
Another game that we both played, Streets of Rage 4.
Yes.
Now, Tom, is this your personal game of the year?
Well, no.
Would you say?
My personal so far for what I played is probably Final Fantasy.
Okay, I apologize.
But
but Streets of Rage 4, I think it was like a perfect handling of a retro formula.
Absolutely.
I really wish it was a Final Fight game, but hey, Streets of Rage 4 looks gorgeous.
It really does. Yes. I love the animation.
Yep.
Again, the music.
The music is fantastic.
The difficulty is a little
It's old school, baby.
I think I'm gonna have to drop it down a bit so I can actually beat it.
And I don't care.
Come at me. Fine. That's fine, man.
But what my personal game of the year would have to be Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think that game has consistently put a smile on my face more times than not, or more times than just neutrality. You know what I mean? There's always just something cute to do in that game, and there's always just something.
Friendship would put a smile.
It for better or worse, yeah. But I mean, as far as the games are concerned, it was Animal Crossing New Horizons, 100%. And it was a game that I didn't think I was going to get into.
Right.
Like when the game first came out in March, I was just like, at the peak, at the eve of the pandemic, of the shutdowns.
Yeah.
I wasn't really going to get into it. But then it took after the game came out, and I was seeing stuff online, and a lot of it has to do with my now fiance wanting to play that game, and she got into it, and she's putting obviously more time in that game than I have. But I mean, I've been playing it more consistent because I go in every day, do my little errands, and then that's it. Bonnie gets in there for like 5 hours at a time, does everything she needs to do for like a week, and then that's how she plays.
Yeah.
And we all our little characters have their own personalities and like little fan canon we put in to ourselves. When they did the Earth Day update, which was like the one big update that we had.
Sure.
when we first got the game. There was this sloth that comes in, and he's fucking a stoner. Come on now, you sell him all the weeds and stuff. So I dressed up like a police officer, and I was trying to, narc everyone out. And then there's like this little weird fiction we came up with was hilarious. Like we're
That's
basically
too fucking funny.
It was really cute, and we put a lot of that game. We put a lot of ourselves into that game.
That's good.
But that's my personal game of the year. Tommy's personal game of the year is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep.
I want to just touch real quick upon Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I finished it on the 30th.
Wow.
I really dug this game.
Okay.
I loved Hyrule Warriors when it came out for the Wii U. It was great when it came out on the new 3DS. It was a little janky, but whatever. And then the definitive edition came out for the Switch.
Uh-huh.
I love a good running Muso hack and slash, 3,000 villains, just for nothing. I used to play Dynasty Warrior Gundam. I played Hyrule Warriors, like I said. And in this game, though, they kind of enhance it with a lot of the Breath of the Wild facets. Obviously, the story notwithstanding, but there's cooking, there's climbing. There's not climbing. I'm sorry. There's wands and weapons and fusions and shit like that. Like it's a lot of fun. It's a very well done Warriors game, and I think, any other year, it probably would have been my personal game of the year. But
Sure.
Animal Crossing just kind of capitalized a lot of my time.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
But while we're talking about video games, though, Tommy, any other games you want to highlight that maybe did not come out in 2020 that you want to talk about that were really what made your year?
Talked about it earlier. Final Fantasy 14.
I mean, we were talking about it for months, man.
Yeah.
When you got your PC, and when you got your PC souped up, ready to roll, Final Fantasy 14 was your jam.
Final Fantasy 14. It's just it's a lot of fun. Pour so many more hours to pour because it's never ending.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think a lot of that has to do with just like playing with people and such. So it's just such a fantastic such a fantastic game.
Sure.
What about you?
My non-2020 game of the year would be Undertale.
Okay.
Came out 5 years ago. I picked it up on Switch for physical. I think I got it after for Christmas, but didn't start it until this year.
Okay.
Man, oh man, I was all about that game for a good 2 months.
Right.
But in the best sense possible. It's a non-violent RPG. You could be violent in it. But really, it takes those tropes and kind of turns it on its head, and it has such a great story, great art, fantastic music. It's a shame that I got to it so late, but it was great. It definitely made my first third of the year. Because it was just a lot of fun playing the regular run, playing a pacifist run. I have yet to do what's called a genocide run, which we actually go and kill every monster.
That's my run.
That's Tom's run. Because the way that the pacifist run ends, it's just I can't go back. I can't go back at all these friends I made along the way. I can't go back and kill them. You know what I mean?
Why?
To see what happens. That's the point.
Why can't you go back?
I can't because it's just a very heartwarming tale. All right, well, that's for you. So congratulations to our 2020 Rudy Game of the Year, Hades. Congratulations to our nominees. They're all winners in our book. And congratulations to our honorable mentions.
Now, to announce the movie of the year, and hopefully the boys don't keep talking because I'm fading away because I need to feed off plasma. Here is Bonnie to give us our nominees.
Thanks, Michael. Here are your nominees for Best Movie of 2020. Sonic the Hedgehog, Onward, Palm Springs, Hamilton. And the Rudy goes to Onward! Congratulations, Onward. This is a wonderful award. What? Okay, it looks like Chris Pratt and Tom Holland were not able to attend the Rudies this year. So here to accept the award are the Rude Boys.
Yes, congratulations to Pixar. You did it again. Congratulations to, by default, we'll talk about it. Congratulations to Disney, that little independent company. You did it again. Onward. I mean, this movie, Pixar, baby. Pixar is Pixar. Let's just put it that way.
Fucking ruined me.
So we're gonna give it. Do we want to put an asterisk with this because this is the one movie we both saw that came out this year? You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? But it was a great movie. I thought. I think Pixar movies kind of took a little bit of a slipped up a little bit. I think after Toy Story 3, at least in my eyes. But Onward, I thought
3 fucking ruined me as well.
Oh no, but I'm saying right after Toy Story 3, it was like, okay, what are you doing? More cars? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Incredibles 2 is cool.
What was it? Kobo? Did they do? No, not Kobo.
The Good Dinosaur? I don't know what you're talking about.
The one about
the Brave Little Toaster.
The one about the Day of the Dead.
Coco. They did Coco. Yes, Coco was good. All right, so maybe I'm talking out of turn. All right, I'm sorry.
Talking out your ass more liked it.
Damn it, that kind of was. But regardless, Onward still won. It wouldn't have been nominated if your boys didn't like it. And it just so happens that we both liked it enough that we both watched it. And there you go. So Onward wins the 2020 Rudy for Best Movie of the Year. Our nominees, though, as Bonnie mentioned, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Was this the last movie you saw in theaters, Tommy?
I didn't see it in theaters.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. My bad. What was the last movie you saw in theaters? Was it Rise of Skywalker? Because that was mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Must have been, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
2019. What a decade ago.
Because that was January, and then that was December.
Yeah.
In January, nothing came out, and then
this came out like February.
The world went to shit.
Exactly.
End of February, beginning of March.
Right. So Sonic the Hedgehog also, I think, the highest grossing movie of the year, just by default also, because nothing else came out. Also, a Marvel movie would have came... Well, 2 Marvel movies would have came out.
Yep.
But that didn't happen. So.
Neither here nor there. Sonic the Hedgehog, great. Ben Schwartz as Sonic, awesome.
Sure.
James Marsden, just, being James Marsden / Cyclops.
Robotnik?
Yeah.
Eggman, whatever they call him in the movie.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I still have yet to see it, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the pants.
You really should.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I am.
You should see it, at least.
Oh, yeah.
Don't kick yourself in the pants. Don't beat yourself up. It's all right.
It's wishy-washy.
It's a new year.
It is a new year. New year, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Keep beating yourself up then.
Movie edit.
Fantastic movie.
Sure.
Of course, do enjoy how the internet, for better or worse, this was for better, bullied a whole studio to fucking redesign a creature. Hey, look,
honestly,
what?
For better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is the one time the internet did a good thing.
Yes. Good job, internet.
Yeah.
Another movie that was nominated was Palm Springs. I saw this movie recently. Came out as a Hulu original. Has Andy Samberg. J.K. Simmons is in it.
Oh, this fucking movie! I saw this trailer like a bunch of times.
Yeah. It has the mom from. Thank you. The mom from How I Met Your Mother, Christina Milioti. I don't know her name.
Yeah.
And the premise of the movie is that Andy Samberg is caught in like a Groundhog's Day time warp. He can't escape it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was kind of getting more of a 50 First Dates vibe.
Well, in the same sense, yes, because of the time returning back to where it was. Christina Milioti, again, murdering that name, I apologize, gets brought onto Andy Samberg's odyssey of living the same day for the rest of his life, to the point that, now she wants to get out of this loop, and he's just like, well, it's great here, la-di-da,
Right.
It's funny. It's cute, and I love that fucking time warp bullshit, that time loop stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Another movie that was nominated this year, Hamilton. Technically, was a film that was released this year on Disney Plus.
Technically, also
full length.
Technically, not also a film.
Technically, also, but it was filmed.
It's a musical play.
Right. We went to the judges. The judges allowed it. And I am the judge. And
I hate the judges because my movie was not released this year and it's bullshit.
All right, sorry, we got some technical difficulties here. All right, sorry about that. Anyway, Hamilton, Bonnie and I were all about this stuff. We did drag you into it. You were not a fan. To your credit, you have a more theater background that you just did not like how it was, let's say.
Yep.
Whereas We did not, so we enjoyed it. Soundtrack, phenomenal. Which, again, we just would listen to non-stop, which is a Hamilton joke. Get it? Oh, God damn it.
Actually, perfect.
I meant that perfect.
What a perfect mistake. That's what my mom said about me.
So, any other movies that you saw this year, Tommy, that did not come out in 2020?
Yes. Girl with All the Gifts. Came out originally in 2019.
Okay.
It's about it's a zombie apocalypse, and the government is training, has like these kids, like, you know, teaching them like about how to beat zombies.
Okay.
But they're all infected with the zombie apocalypse, so they're all like, they're pretty much trying to teach these zombie children how not to eat people.
Okay.
The one girl, she kind of, pretty much zombies break into the army base. The one girl, the girl with all the gifts, she, you know, winds up hooking up with a doctor and, a couple of army people, and she ends up teaching the other zombies, like,
okay, interesting,
how to be normal. Pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Definitely will, definitely, if you ever want to check it out, I'd totally be down to watch it with you guys.
All right. Interesting.
Highway to Hell, which came out in 1991. It's about this particular highway where there's a cop who works for Hell.
Highway to Hell, sorry.
Who, works for Hell. And brings people down, pretty much to bring a bride down for the devil.
Okay.
No one of note is really in it.
Unknowns, that's fine. I dig that.
And then I watched a Nicolas Cage movie, Color of Outer Space.
Okay.
This was a very Lovecraftian movie.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm
a fan of that.
Just fucking Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
Again, another movie that if, you and Bonnie would like to watch, we're here in the studio, I will totally watch it again.
Nice.
I'm sure I'm missing it so much because, didn't really go to the movies. Instead, I watched the movies. So.
I know what you mean. What you mean. Yeah, no, Bonnie and I, we had the big horror movie kick. Unfortunately, I don't have that list in front of me. But congratulations to Onward, the winner of the 2020 Movie of the Year.
Thanks
our
for
nominees, and our honorable mentions.
Now we're back. I still say it's bullshit that my movie was not on this list because my movie was not put out because of a pandemic. This is Michael Morbius again. For those who don't know, we now go to Bonnie to give us our new TV nominees.
Thanks, Mike. Here are the nominees for the Best New TV Show of 2020. The Haunting of Bly Manor, Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy, High Score, Dracula, Queen's Gambit. And the Rudy goes to Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy. Unfortunately, Optimus Prime could not be here to accept the award. Here are the Rude Boys.
Tommy, did you think we would have been... Do you think we would have gotten a good Transformers cartoon?
I never thought... I never thought this would happen.
Transformers cartoon. So Transformers War for Cybertron. Yeah. The trilogy, which technically is eligible... because this is a new series that came out this year. It started with Earthrise earlier in the year. It started with Siege, Chapter 1, earlier this year, and ended on the 30th, it came out, Earthrise, Chapter 2. So 6 episodes each season, or chapter, 12 episodes altogether, half hour each.
Yep.
Man, oh man, this was a good show.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of it is leading into Beast Wars related content, which I am seething, and I really want that. But I'm down for some Transformers, man. Some nice G1 stuff.
Always.
There's just a lot of... Honestly, it's like such a good story that makes sense that it came out like this year, or just a modern take on the 80s Gen 1 Cybertron, the Transformers, the characters and stuff like that. What do you want to say about Transformers?
Man,
the robots in the skies.
It was, I'm watching the first episode. I was like, all right, this is the Transformers that I wanted for years.
Yes. They look good. They sound good.
Yeah, look good. They even went with like the real I think there was like a comic called like Transformers Minis where like Bumblebee was like they show the size difference of like back in the 80s, they were all kind of like eye to eye, it
was a little but
like they show the size difference of like Bumblebee to like Prime and and like a lot of twists and turns. It's a very like thrillery. It was something that was written modern. It was a political thriller, I would say.
No, absolutely, because it deals with the uprising, or not, I mean, it's weird to say, the reign of Megatron and the Decepticons against on Cybertron, and the Autobots trying to make things right.
Yes, exactly.
That's really what that is, and that leads into chapter 2, which I know you didn't catch yet.
Yes, I didn't even realize that lead into that. I totally forgot that it dropped. Yeah. So,
it was good. Banged it out. It was good. A couple characters you'll be like, oh shit, it's that guy. Nice, you know what I mean?
Nice.
But we got to definitely talk about chapter 2 when
I watch it.
When you do watch
Absolutely.
it.
Which probably be this week.
Excellent.
So I'm not waiting for people no more.
Other things nominated: The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yes.
Which is a new series, but in the same vein as The Haunting of Hill House that came out a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
With a lot of the same cast, with a lot of the same actors, let's just say. I thought it came out Rootober. Bonnie and I, we really dug it. We really liked the story a lot more than Hill House. Hill House definitely has more spooky stuff.
Which is what I liked.
And I respect that. Yeah, Bly Manor was more story heavy.
Yeah.
I felt definitely had like a bigger story to tell than hey, there's ghosts. Sure. There was stuff. There was spirits. There was possession. There was stuff like that. Excellent, I thought as well. Another thing on Netflix, this is a Netflix fucking heavy thing I'm looking at right now. Goodness gracious. High Score, video game documentary.
Yes.
Narrated by Charles Martinet, who we couldn't get for the Rudies, sorry, so we had to settle on our boy Michael Morbius, which I'm perfectly fine with. Shit. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. We love having you here, Michael. High Score was great, I thought. They basically go from the late 70s, early 80s, all the way up to really 3D gaming, basically, with the the N64, PS1, all that stuff. And they hit the console wars, Street Fighter 2's coming up, JRPGs with Final Fantasy, Space Invaders, stuff like that. It was a great series that I caught. And these other two nominees, Tommy, I'm going to hand over to you: Queen's Gambit and Dracula.
Yes, Dracula came out earlier this year. Dracula, it was three episodes, about an hour and 20 each episode. It was the worst.
Batting 1,000 here with this fucking.
It was good up until the last 25 minutes of the last episode.
Right. That's what I've heard.
And I was just like, oh, man. Yeah,
but still good though, right? It's vampire enough, still good enough to get nominated.
Yeah,
so.
They took some liberties in the story. Helsing was a woman, and Dracula and Helsing had a. It seemed like as they got closer to present day that they were they wanted a relationship with each other, from what I gathered. So,
sure.
It wasn't terrible, but. Next one is Queen's Gambit.
Sure. Yes.
Which, not to be confused with Gambit's Queen.
Right. Who is Rogue?
Yes.
I'd imagine. Okay.
Wow.
Oh well, I don't know what goes on in the continuities anymore.
Yeah.
So
they're married.
Okay, good for them.
They hijacked Colossus and Shadowcat's wedding.
No, yes, you can talk about this.
Yes. This was about a chess player who came up in the ranks, and it was like one of those like, oh my god moments, because it's a female chess player, and it was
girl.
It was dominated by males and such. Sure. What's her name? Who played Magic in New Mutants?
Anna Taylor-Joy.
Thank you. She was in it. Also, the kid who played, the Frog Twins from Game of Thrones?
The Frog Twins from Game of Thrones. You're talking about the frogs from Mandalorian?
No, from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones?
The fucking... The two kids that helped Bran get to the tree.
Frog Twins? Why are you calling them Frog Twins?
Isn't that what they call themselves?
I don't think so. But I know who you're talking about. They're the
I'm thinking of Lost Boys. Fuck.
I don't remember.
But anyway,
the name is on the tip of my head. Okay.
The brother was in that.
Gotcha.
Okay. Very cool. I mean, I'll probably go back. The music was great because it took place like in like the 60s, so it was like 60s and 70s. She starts spiraling out of control.
Okay.
Thing gets a little too much for her. She becomes like drug addict, alcoholic, and then shit happens where she's like, all right, let me get my head back in the game. So.
All right, cool.
Very cool. We'll totally probably revisit it. Don't really see a second season. There's really no need.
If there was like a continuation.
Yeah, there's no need for it the way it ends. Like honestly, they could have done it how they did Dracula. So
okay,
very
that's cool. So those are our nominees for best new television show of 2020. And congratulations to Transformers: War for Cybertron trilogy winning 2020 Rudy best new television show of 2020. Did I say 2020 enough? 2020.
I don't know if she said 2020 enough. Shut up, Parker! I will be right back. I have to do this nomination for returning TV, and now here's Bonnie. Damn it, I'm back.
Thanks, Mike. Here are your nominees for Best Returning TV Show of 2020. The Mandalorian, Castlevania, Dark Side of the Ring, Star Wars Clone Wars, What We Do in the Shadows, Umbrella Academy, Supernatural, and Cobra Kai. And the Rudy goes to The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian, congratulations. And I am receiving word that the Mandalorian could not be here to accept the award today. Here are the Rude Boys.
I think, Tom, so thank you again to, unfortunately, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, everyone here at Lucasfilm couldn't be here.
We tried.
We did try. This was pretty much a lock, I think. If you guys watched our Rude Boys Reacts on our YouTube page.
We have a YouTube?
Yeah!
YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes, it is bit.ly/RudeBoys RudeTube. You always talk over it. All lowercase.
Sorry. It's all happening.
Yes, so we love good Star Wars content.
Yeah.
And this we nominated 2 Star Wars things in this category specifically. Well, because there was no new Star Wars content, but whatever. The Mandalorian, Season 2.
Seriously.
I think gave us, as Ya Boyz, as fans, just fucking everything, man.
Yeah.
Like, Boba Fett's return, more Darksaber stuff, live-action Ahsoka Tano, live-action Bo-Katan, Luke Skywalker de-aged, Dark Troopers, fucking...
R2-D2.
R2-D2 was there for a little bit. It was great.
Learning the child's
possibly name. The start of the cloning process of the Emperor with Snoke and shit like that. Like, there was so much in here. It was really kind of all killer, no filler.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian is fantastic. I've had people ask me, because I guess it gets such good buzz. Like, Bonnie's mom has asked me, like, should I watch The Mandalorian? And I'm like, it's a good show. But if you don't like Star Wars, it's not going to hit the same. It's good. Don't get me wrong. Gunslinger, samurai, Western stuff, like, it's on point, man.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff is timeless. That's what Star Wars is.
Absolutely.
It's the pulp, sci-fi stuff, samurai tales. It's all that stuff rolled into one. And The Mandalorian, again, with Jon Favreau. Thank you. Dave Filoni. Thank you. Great stuff. We've reacted to more or less every episode.
Yeah.
Even the ones we didn't, we still liked them. We still had stuff to say. There's a lot of more good Star Wars content coming up next year. So, but speaking of Star Wars content, though, Star Wars Clone Wars: The Final Season, which was released on Disney Plus. This was good, I think, because in addition to it kicking my butt into watching the entire series of Clone Wars, which I'm so glad it did.
Yeah, I did that too.
The final season, I thought, was just...
Yeah,
was beautiful.
It really was.
Beautiful send-off with everything. The Bad Batch stuff was cool. The stuff in, like, Coruscant was like, all right, whatever.
More
like,
political bullshit.
Yeah, we got to see what's going on with Ahsoka.
Sure.
And then, so we can get her ready for the Siege of Mandalore. Like, that's really what I think that was all about.
Yep.
So fucking good.
Fucking good, yeah.
Tommy, talk about Supernatural.
Supernatural. Another nominee. Final season came out this year. If you listen to our last episode 87, can't remember the title, sorry.
It's all right.
Hey, I remember the number.
You did remember the number. That's good.
It was good. The way, like, the send off for the, and thanking the fans and everything. Just weird, man. Like 15 years, like that's
crazy.
One of the shows that lasted on Channel 11 between when it was Pix 11, WB,
CW,
and CW. Right. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's honestly like it's weird when something like that happens. Like The Simpsons are one thing. When you say like, oh, I'm gonna watch The Simpsons, it's like, yeah, that show's been on for like 30 goddamn seasons, 30 plus
exactly.
Seasons. But just hearing like Supernatural, like it's just one of those things in the back of a non-fan's head where it's like, yeah, I heard that show was on. Yeah, it's like 15 seasons. Wow, like that doesn't necessarily mean 15 years, but like that's still a good chunk of time.
No, it really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was just so like, like I said, them thanking the fans was just very cool and. And I understand why people complained about the last episode. The internet complained.
What?
No, never. Not you, nation.
That's the internet.
There you go.
Not the nation.
But I enjoyed it. How you got to see how like everyone like where they all were.
Cool.
Like so.
Very cool. Very cool. 15 seasons. That's something incredible though. A lot of the other nominees though are still in our early seasons, like Dark Side of the Ring. Dark Side of the Ring came back for a second season on Vice TV, and I think it's a great look at the wrestling world, at wrestling stories that isn't exactly that is not tainted for better or worse, or controlled, better word,
by Vince,
by a bigger company, Vince. That's pretty much it. And talking about like obviously starting off real big and hot and heavy with the Benoit story. Ending with the Owen story. Talking about the life and death of the Road Warriors, unfortunately, when we still had one living at that point. Even stories like, I think it was the UHF or something. Not UHF, that's a fucking Weird Al movie. The UWV or something. Not VW. This weird renegade wrestling promotion that was here for a fucking hot minute. Talking about Dr. D, not Dr. Death, but the guy who slapped that fucking reporter.
They call me Dr. D.
Yeah, why is that?
You dick.
Nation, come on! Stop encouraging it. But any wrestling fan, I think, would definitely appreciate watching Dark Side of the Ring.
With the Benoit episode, I would say it was like Benoit / Guerrero episode.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Because you can't separate the two.
No, you can't.
Guerrero was a huge part in Benoit's life. His passing really did fuck him up.
I would have liked to have seen
how he handled the rest, the remaining years of his life. Yeah, that's how he did. And you know what? If we have to pinpoint to a specific point, could have been the undiagnosed concussions, or the absolute depression of his family, or the business that ran his body under the ground. That's what we do in the shadows. I'm sorry. That's what Dark Side of the Ring does for the audience. They're both kind of dark. Shadows, dark side, you know what I mean? So I got confused.
Oh my god,
Tommy, I think you should watch it. They had an episode with your boy, New Jack. Very interesting. I know you don't like him. Very interesting tale, though. Interesting. That's all I got to say about that. What we do in the shadows? Because I already said it. I already spoiled it. Fantastic second season from FX. Glad there's going to be a third. Hopefully, I think coming out this year. Yeah. Very much a big fan of it. And Tom, I'm very surprised you didn't catch up on it.
I know.
We did talk about why.
Yeah.
It's not any fault of your own. But like you bang that shit out, man. Oh, man, it's just better and better, man. It is good stuff. Tell me a little bit about Umbrella Academy and Cobra Kai, Tommy.
Umbrella Academy season 2. Time travel. They all, at the end of season 1, they all get tossed into the 1960s. It's them in the 1960s. Of course, one, dealing with the civil rights. Vanya has amnesia, doesn't remember where she is because she gets hit by a car, and also her powers fucked her. And you see it like, and then you have 5, who's like the teleporter, who's just like, all right, we gotta try to fix this shit.
Sure.
So, pretty cool.
I want to get into it.
Yeah, I really think you would.
I gotta commit to it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
I could, yes. Yeah. I absolutely could, but I just have to. That's the thing.
Cobra Kai, it's a continuation to, after the Karate Kid movies.
Right.
Not the Will Smith Sons ones.
I knew you knew I was going there.
I know you are. And
what? Is Hillary Swank in this one or no?
Huh? No. Hillary Stankface? No. Yeah, she's a bit of a Stankface.
It's not attractive. I'm sorry, Hillary Swank. I'm sorry we lost a listener.
Yeah. What, in Hillary Swank? Yeah, we'll be all right. Don't worry. So, it's... what the hell's his name? Not Danny Russo, but his... Billy Zapko's...
Mr. Miyagi.
They actually had a Mr. Miyagi episode, which was pretty
did they?
cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, actually show Pat Mariah,
Marita.
Marita, shut up.
You had the letters right. You said the letters in the right way. You just said the whole word wrong.
Yeah, I know.
I understand. I know your process.
It's Tommy Cash.
Tom's process. I got
exactly. It. No, like in flashbacks and such. Billy Zapko's character, he reopens the dojo, Cobra Kai, and
right.
Danny Russo is just like, no, you can't do this. Cobra Kai is bad. So he opens his own, like the Miyagi style of, fighting. So he has students from that leave Cobra Kai and they come over and then there's a tournament at the end of Karate Kid.
Okay.
And then there's a rumble at the end of season 2 and shit happens and season 3 apparently just dropped yesterday.
Right.
So, apparently got a lot of Netflix shit to watch.
Hey man, there's a lot of good TV out there. Yeah. I think if anything, the fact that we had to split our normal TV category in twine to encompass new shows that we really want to tip our hat to, and the returning shows that we love more of that good stuff, really does explain how much good television was out there in 2020. I mean, really specifically from Netflix, because Christ, that new TV was all Netflix stuff.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, Hellstrom ain't get nominated based off of what you were saying.
Maybe nominated.
It might come up.
It might.
Anything else you want to talk about TV wise? Mm-hmm. I saw Avatar for the first time, The Last Airbender. I really enjoyed it.
The movie?
It definitely. No, that's why I said The Last Airbender. Oh, also not the movie The Last Airbender. You're right. The animated Nickelodeon television show that is on, or was at least on streaming Netflix. I think it is still. Avatar The Last Airbender. Watched it. I really did enjoy it.
Cool. You watched Book of Korra?
I tried to get into that, and then Transformers happened, so I was like, fuck, I want to watch Transformers.
Giant robots. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, little girl who could bend water.
I do want to watch. I watched it all with my fiance, and we both enjoyed it. But when we got to Korra, she was a little burnt out, and it was up to me to keep it going. But then I'm like, I want to watch robots. So that's
in disguise.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
So I watched Avatar for the first time. I want to not... Tom, your thoughts on Colin Quinn? We talked about him. Colin Quinn put out a YouTube channel. I think he has a YouTube channel. I don't know the URL though, unfortunately. But you could find ours at bit.ly/RudeBoyz RudeTube, all lowercase.
See, I didn't talk over it that time.
Thank you. But I did slur it up real bad. He has this web series called Cop Show on YouTube.
You were telling me about
it's basically like Colin Quinn is an actor doing his own Law and Order sort of show. And what we see on YouTube is a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. And it's a lot of his buddies, and it's a lot of ego, and it's just very funny. If you like the Colin Quinn dry sense of humor and his group, like Jim Norton, Chris Rock is in an episode, Dave Attell is in an episode, Jerry Seinfeld's in a couple episodes. It's a lot of fun. They're like 6 minutes long at most. It's a fun little YouTube thing. Cool. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you really want to call that television, it's episodic, so that's why we included it, or I included it in my head. But congratulations to The Mandalorian Season 2, which would be no surprise, winning the Best 2020 Returning Television Show of the Year, and congratulations to our nominees and our honorable mentions.
So nice to see a vampire be nominated. Too bad it was a pretty boy. Not like... myself, who's gorgeous! Michael Morbius! Bonnie! Take us away!
Thank you again, Michael. I'm here to present the Rudy for Best Wrestling Thing of 2020. And your nominees are AEW, Overall, NXT, Overall, 2020 Men's Royal Rumble Match, Roman Reigns heel turn, Drew McIntyre Championship reign, Undertaker's Last Ride mini documentary, and the Rudy goes to the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble Match. Congratulations, gentlemen. Unfortunately, the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble Match was not able to be here today. Here to accept the Rudy Award, the Rude Boys.
All right, congratulations, I think, goes out to really all the competitors for the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble. You know? I think, well, you mean, geez Louise. The Royal Rumble to Ya Boyz is a very special pay-per-view event. It always is.
Yep.
What made it more special this year, obviously in retrospect, because it was one of the last times we got the boys together to watch a wrestling
whole group of us.
A whole group of us together, was also the event itself. Like the match itself, let's just say. Obviously, it was almost two different matches, because you had the first half of it was Brock Lesnar completely just steamrolling and dominating people. And really just letting us down. Because we thought, here we go. And here comes Cesaro, and he gets knocked out. And here comes this guy, and he gets knocked out. And then you get moments like, here comes Keith Lee, and we're like, ooh, like this is a good fresh matchup.
Lesnar's reaction was just terrible.
My god, it was hilarious.
Who's this? Come on, big boy.
Quickly, speaking of reactions, Rude Boyz Wrestle Special number 8, the 2020 Royal Rumble live reactions. That is also why I think this won our Rudies, because again, it's now memorialized on the internet, our reaction to watching one of our A, favorite pay-per-views, and B, one of our favorite wrestling moments of the year. Our favorite wrestling moment of the year. But yes, you had Brock basically steamrolling through a lot of people.
Oh, I was getting so angry.
Up until your boy, the eventual winner, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, man.
That was very fucking well done and very refreshing. You have the return of Edge, which was a fucking out of nowhere, even though if it was highly rumored and stuff like that. The Rumble is always fun. Who even knows what's going to be happening in a couple weeks when the Rumble happens?
All I gotta say, they better
the Thunderdome.
They best be fucking dedicating that shit to Pat Patterson.
That is very true. But the 2020 Men's Royal Rumble match, it definitely wins our Rudy. I mean, it did, should, and did win our 2020 wrestling Rudy of the year.
Yep.
So Tommy, you got your fingers on the pulse a little bit more to the professional wrestling than I am. AEW. AEW's in its sophomore year.
Yeah.
Where it began its sophomore year this year, after fully loaded, Full Gear, whatever it was.
Full Gear, yeah.
Something, yeah.
Which again, that was the last pay-per-view we all kind of sort of watched together, because that was on at a party.
Oh, right, yes.
But again, I say kind of sort of because we were all kind of milling about,
sure.
but
we weren't dedicated to
exactly. AEW has just been really good. It's been nice and fresh for the wrestling world. We talked about what they did.
Yeah, the tragedy
this
with
week.
Brody Lee. Yes,
yep.
And the excellent tribute show they had.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what else they're gonna do.
Sure.
What they did, where it seems like their AEW and Impact are.
There's a lot of synergy going on.
A lot of synergy. So like Kenny Omega's bouncing between the two.
Sure.
Company, so we'll see.
Honestly,
a shake-up.
Yeah,
a shake-up.
A shake-up. Nice. Absolutely, yes. I think the high tide raises all ships. Basically, is what I'm trying to say, or whatever. I think when wrestling just does well, we all win out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I want all companies to do well.
Yeah.
Because I think this talent that we have throughout all the brands and all the industries, I think deserve the biggest amount of spotlight. I mean, in this time, in this pandemic, they were able to make a lot of stuff work that they shouldn't. Yeah. I mean, when professional sports can't, do their thing, and baseball has a compressed season, like, these guys are still going out there.
Yeah, no, they really are.
Day in, day out, week in, week out.
And what AEW did, like, having their wrestlers in the crowd, wearing masks, and just, like, keeping that crowd reaction still there.
So tell me a little bit about NXT too. NXT's been holding it down as well.
Yeah, NXT has just been killing it as well. They have a little bit easier than like Raw and SmackDown because they're in a smaller arena.
Sure, yeah.
They're in they're in the
Capitol Wrestling Center.
Exactly.
So it's like the revamped Performance Center.
Basically. Yeah. So they they do their thing.
Sure.
With guys like Damian Priest in there right now, and
right.
Finn Balor as the champion,
which I think is definitely nice. And I know he's obviously he was a Raw talent that came down to NXT, came back to NXT.
Yeah, which
I think that's needed. Yeah,
absolutely. You still have Undisputed Era killing it.
Sure.
Like Adam Cole, baby. And all Roderick Strong,
Fish, Riley.
Yeah.
Riley. You got a couple matches coming out on Wednesday, basically.
Yeah.
New Year's Evil. It sounds fucking dope as shit.
Yeah, and it's their going head to head with AEW.
Right.
I think AEW is calling it like
New Year's Smash.
New Year's Slam, some shit like that. Yeah, I know.
But hey, competition is good.
It raises everyone better.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
But the other stuff we nominated.
Sure.
Drew Mack. We talked about him a little bit with the Royal Rumble. He won the Rumble. He won the title at WrestleMania. It was a little bit of a weird Mania. It was a lot of bit of a weird Mania.
Yeah. I mean,
but he still won it, and he held it down. He lost the title for a bit to Orton, but now he ended the year with the title.
Yep.
Still has it as of recording.
I think that's probably best for the company right now.
I agree.
Is you have that young guy in there with this title. I mean, not even a young guy. I mean, he's been in the biz for a bit. But
he's a proven talent, I feel.
Yes.
And it's good to see that rewarded to somebody like him. And I know we've did you finish watching that Broken Skull session with him? Or no?
There was like 5 minutes left?
Something like that, yeah. You saw enough of it.
Yeah.
He's so genuine and earnest and stuff like that.
He's very humble.
He wants to do
He got
well,
humbled.
And I'm glad that he is able to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's
absolutely.
one thing to be like someone takes the ball and then they're like, yeah, I'm going to run with it. And then they don't do anything with it.
Yeah, no, and
he seems to be running with it, man. And I hope, the company decides to stick with it. And, as wrestling fans, we're battered wives at points.
Oh, God,
especially with this one particular company. Mm-hmm. And they'll, do something hot shot or something and, not dedicate themselves to the long run. Yeah. And hopefully Drew Mack does that.
Yeah, I really hope they just keep letting him do what, he is doing.
Sure.
One of the other things that happened in 2020 that became, was a kind of a shocker for everybody is Roman Reigns turning heel.
The heel turn of Roman Reigns, exactly.
I think it was much needed. I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
I like the fact that Paul Heyman is his...
Absolutely.
His advocate.
Yes. Solidifying the heel turn.
Absolutely.
And it does set up for an eventual face turn when Lesnar shows back up.
His whole...
Calling it right now.
His whole, head of the table thing.
Is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it works so well for him. Instead of being like, I'm a bad guy. No, he's like the bad guy. He's like, you're here because of me.
Exactly.
I put food on your table. Exactly.
Which
I'm the daddy.
Yeah, his feud with Kevin Owens has been fantastic.
Sure. His first feud with his cousin.
Yeah.
Was great.
Yeah.
That was great shit, man. They had two awesome matches that you wouldn't think out of a tag team competitor. You would not have thought that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, hey, Jey Uso's going to wrestle his cousin, and he's a heel.
Yeah.
Like,
for the Universal title.
Exactly. Yes. Specifically that.
Holy shit!
2020, really? Man, weird year.
Yeah.
2020, I hate to say it, without the fans, best time to just kind of throw stuff out
Absolutely.
there and work with it. Even though I just said don't do that.
No, they're just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks.
To be fair, though, I think if this was a normal year, I don't know, Goldberg would still be champ. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's good that they are doing stuff like this. They're putting their faith into talents that can do stuff. You have a Roman Reigns heel turn. You have a Drew McIntyre World Championship title reign.
Yeah.
This is stuff that you would not have expected 5 years ago.
I want to see, him just stay as a heel and
I agree.
Goldberg come out and be like, I got the best spear, and he just fucking spears the fuck out of Goldberg. Right. Destroys him. Still retains. Edge comes out, another spear
contest.
Absolutely. Just fucking keep spearing people, man.
You just want to see guys get speared.
Ran through. Yay. I think it was a much needed thing.
Yes.
I think because they saw the writings on the wall of all right, we need to turn him. They wanted to turn, they never turned Cena heel.
Correct.
And they wanted to turn him heel. So.
And I think this was, in this pandemic time, was the best time to do it.
Yeah.
They were piping in cheers, so might as well pipe in booze.
Why the hell not?
Exactly.
Why the hell not? And then you want to...
Yeah, so our last nominee also was the Undertaker Last Ride documentary that's on the WWE Network. We were torn a little bit to put this between television show and this, but because this was a very specific WWE production, we kept this in here. And 2020 is the year the Undertaker retired.
Yeah.
He had his last match, which was the first mainline cinematic match that WWE has produced.
Oh, man.
The Boneyard match. And he had his send-off at Survivor Series. We did a whole Wrestle special on our Undertaker moments.
Yep.
And they did... Honestly, I think what the WWE Network did for Taker, they should be doing all the time. They should be supplementing their television product with stuff like this, documentaries, Untolds. Let's get this person to tell me about this feud and stuff like that. And they do that.
It seems like,
but the amount of content they gave us.
Well,
Undertaker specifically was like, mwah, this was the time to do it.
They're coming out with a bunch of documentaries. Yes. They're starting off with a Yokozuna documentary, which I was like...
Yeah, Icons or Legends or
really?
something.
Really? The fuck?
Well, hey, hey, that's the story that really hasn't been told. There hasn't been a lot of Yoko DVDs and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
True.
So
no, you're right.
This is the best way to do it. But I think the way that they handled The Undertaker's we're calling it retirement because that's what he's calling it. Has been great. He did the Broken Skull session again.
Mm-hmm.
They did the Last Ride documentaries. He's just been doing Untolds. He did one with Randy Orton. He did a sit-down conversation with Kane.
I missed the Randy Orton one.
It was good.
Yeah.
We'll throw it on.
Okay.
But yeah, so the W Network for $9.99. There you go. Not too shabby.
Not doing too bad.
So that does it for our main Rudies nominees. Thank you again for all the winners and all the nominees and the runners up and everything.
And Michael Morbius, who
we might be hearing from one more time.
Oh.
He's got to send us off. So.
Oh.
Yep. Hang in there, Mike. You're there.
I'm hanging.
We were gonna nominate Best Comic of 2020. We did not read, based off of the rules of the Rudies, we did not read a comic that was new that came out this year.
Right.
Because of, the world's been crazy.
And it's just,
distribution centers have been shutting down. Yep. It's just been hard to get weeklies and shit like that. So we're opening this up to Best Comic that we've read this year. That was new to us, I'd imagine, right? I'll start. I read the 2 collected editions of Spider-Man the Gauntlet.
Okay.
And I talked about this on an earlier episode, and I don't want to really divulge too much into it because this is definitely a future trading of the backs.
Ooh.
But it basically just takes Spider-Man's villains at the time, and they kind of just give him new, fresh coat of paint, send him back out. And I don't mean that he gets a new costume. There's more hunger, there's more drive behind a lot of these villains that were fucking jabronis.
Yeah.
Let's face it. You know what I mean? They all kind of get their Kraven's Last Hunt moment leading up to an even bigger story.
Okay.
And it was one of my favorite things. We did we did the trading of the backs. I really did like Fatal Attractions,
sure,
Massacre, and all the X books Tommy gave me. I'm a Spider-Man guy.
Yeah.
And the Gauntlet, hands down, was my favorite storyline that I read this year. Tommy, what good comics have you read this year?
Well, you let me borrow, the Carnage.
The Carnage books.
Carnage books, which again were good, but I just been bouncing around, but picked up the X-Men Second Genesis, which was it collected Jim Lee and Chris Claremont 1 through 7.
Okay.
Which
we talked about X-Men 1. That was
fight with Magneto and the Acolytes.
Yeah, the highest rated comic or some shit.
And and then Omega Red's introduction.
Yes, that's right.
So
I'm a fan of Omega Red.
You should probably read his history a little more before you say that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's a bad man.
Oh, well, I'm not saying I'm rooting for him.
It sounded like you were.
I like his whole deal. You know what I mean? The vampiric tendrils.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
Yeah. He gets everything he deserves.
Oh. All right then.
He's a fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't wait then.
Omega Red sucks.
Any other comics you read, Tommy? I read a ton. Gauntlet is the one that kind of stands head above shoulders.
2021.
Absolute Carnage was good too. It's obviously leading to a bigger King in Black, which is happening right now concurrently. So we'll read that later this year. Yeah. But I want to get into the Venom run that Donny Cates has been doing. Man.
Yeah, and you really should. For what I've read, it's so good.
I'm super into that.
I definitely this year I want to get into more comics.
Same. Shit. We just bought.
We just bought
some.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hear all about it, Nation. Don't you worry.
I can't wait. I can't wait to read.
So some other Rudies that we got going on. It's a little minor, but not to diminish anything about the prestigious award that we're giving out. Beverage of the Year, I think, is a hands down Miller High Life.
Established in 1903.
The champagne of beers.
It was very close between, honestly, Miller High Life and Miller Lite, because we were drinking a lot of Miller Lite.
We were drinking a lot of Miller Lite, yeah. But Miller High Life, still holding it down, still tasty.
Absolutely.
Best new podcast segment. We did some. We kind of branched out a little bit. We did our Rude Boys top 10. We started that this year. We were doing. We got more into Rude Boys Reacts.
Yeah. We
did that with Rude Boys Be Streaming. We did a couple of those. But I think hands down my favorite new podcast segment is Trading the Backs. I really thank you, Tom, for this. This was kind of your child. This is your baby. This is your medium that I have been kind of getting into.
Yes.
Obviously, we wouldn't have this segment if I didn't have a collection to share.
Yes.
And believe me, I'm getting to a point where I will not have a collection to share because I'm going to be tapped out.
I know, and you're killing me because you made Christmas shopping very rough.
I know, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to fucking get him.
Honestly, it's like it's like the Homer bowling ball.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, give this to me so I can read it later.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's going to turn into.
Which is what I didn't want to do.
Right. No, I appreciate it. But hey, I mean, if it's something that you're like, if it was a situation where you're just like, oh, you know what, I never read this book, but I heard it's good.
Right.
Let me give it a Sherm, and he'll read it. And then I'll read.
Sure, yeah.
But I think Trading of the Backs was phenomenal. We did 3 editions this year. A lot of Spider-Man, X-Men, even Batman books. We had some Batman books traded, which was very nice. And there'll definitely be some more Trading of the Backs this year coming up, 100%. And then we're going to finish it up with the big one, obviously. The big one! The Rudies Lifetime Achievement Award. 3 years running, the Nintendo Switch, it's never going to change. Until there's a new, those are good levels. Until there's a Switch Pro or something like that, or the Switch 2.0.
Yeah.
But the Switch has been doing it. I'm getting a little worried. The fan is still getting pretty loud on my Switch, and I'm getting a little worried.
The thing that I wish my Switch had a better battery.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's my only complaint about such a wonderful system that has brought me hours of joy. And it's still going to be bringing me hours of joy.
I don't think I would have played the amount of games I did
without it.
Sure,
yes. No, I agree. I agree with you.
I also want to make a quick runner-up to Xbox Game Pass. That is also something I would not have been playing enough games with. It's such a phenomenal idea. I don't jive that well with the Xbox ecosystem yet. However, the idea of Game Pass, I think, is phenomenal. It is something that everyone should at least try out if they have access to it. And just check it out, you know? I mean, pay for a month and see what you like, and you like it, keep it going. If not, whatever, it's all good. You know, that's really all I got to say about that. But it's something that was just like, damn, like I've heard about this for a while, and I pulled the trigger. I'm like, shit, this is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Still doesn't beat the Switch, though. Sorry, Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, definitely not.
So now that's it for the Rudies portion of the podcast. But we can't end an award show
on a high note.
We can't end an episode on a high note at all. The Tooties, our famous, I think it's actually our second annual Tooties, I think. So these are the worsts of the year. Obviously, there's a big one. Well, that'll probably be the Tooties Lifetime Achievement Award. What are just some Tooties you want to talk about, Tommy? I know you want to talk about Wonder Woman 84.
Wonder Woman 84, man. Oh my god.
Let's talk about movies. Let's talk about stink-ass movies.
It started so strong, and then it just floundered, man. There was, like, it starts off with, like, you know, young Diana, like, doing a triathlon or some shit. And
you don't have to spoil it.
It was also, are you gonna watch it?
I don't know. Maybe we'll go to the movies on it.
Oh boy, okay.
That's fresh. Everybody gets it. Everybody's got HBO Max apparently.
Till January 24th gets taken down.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Never mind. Take it back.
Spoiler. I don't know. What's his name? Pedro Pascal. Not very good in it. Was not very good. I mean, Gal Gadot playing her again was pretty awesome. Like, you know, she's good. I mean, granted, yes, Diana's supposed to be ageless. Obviously, you could tell it's been several years since the last movie, because, you know, I mean, people get older. Like, nothing you can do about time. Unless you're apparently LucasArts.
Yeah, very true, very true.
It just everyone was just like, oh, I love the 80s stuff. There wasn't really no 80s shit. Like, really? It wasn't 80s heavy-handed. Yeah, no. They couldn't even afford, like, 80s music. Like, they were, like, shitty versions of, like, some music that I think I caught, but I couldn't place it. And then, I don't know, Cheetah.
Right.
Just was not good. Like, Kristen
Wiig
was just not
this is really kind of like... I don't want to dissuade anybody from watching this movie or if they liked it, but this is what we gave a Tootie to.
I really don't understand what Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot thought of putting their names on this. It was garbage.
Right. Wow.
It really was. It just was not. It was one of the worst piece of shit movies I've ever fucking seen. And I've sat through Zack Snyder's Justice League half and Joss Whedon's Justice League.
The homunculus of those two directors.
So, you know what? I sat through that garbage, and this is just the topper of the steaming heap of garbage that is the DCEU.
Wow. So not in a good place right now.
Next time,
get ready for Zack Snyder's.
Yeah, next time they put
save us, right?
Next time they put the fucking.
That's pretty good.
Next time they put the bat signal up, just think twice before lighting it.
Wow.
Just don't. Wow. Stop with the DCEU. DC, if you want to do something, just, you know what? Start building a universe with your animated shit. Like, your animated shit is so fucking good. That's the one thing you have on Marvel. Your animated shit is so fucking good. Stop with the live action. You garbage. And our next Tootie is...
Well, I have a Tootie I want to talk about. That's not on the list right now because I just remembered it.
Okay.
I'm giving a Tootie, and I really hate to do this. I'm giving a Tootie out to Doom Eternal.
Really?
Yes,
I have heard good things.
As have I. I just did not like it. Like to the point that... So... In the same breath that I was saying how Game Pass was great, good enough to be nominated for Thing of the Year, the Rudy's Lifetime Achievement Award, sort of. I played Doom Eternal when it came out on Game Pass. And
I was going to ask, what did you play it on?
Perhaps that was my bad.
Yeah.
Because this game was glitchy, backgrounds were popping in and out. There was one point towards the end of the game, a monster basically... destroys one of these, like, I don't even know how to say it. It's like a bridge tunnel thing that connects two buildings together. You see them in the city a lot, like kind of like an overpass.
Yeah.
An overpass, let's say. Crashes into it, okay, in a cutscene. Like, oh man, look at the spectacle. Cutscene ends, the thing is still there. So I'm like, okay, cool. I walk and I fall right through. It should not be there.
Right.
For whatever reason, it is still there in my game. So I'm like, alright. I'll just reload. Still there. I don't know where to go. So I'm just guessing. I'm just blind jumping. I don't know where the building ends and where the new one begins.
Jesus fucking
it was
Christ.
A bit of a mess. I really liked Doom 2016. It was very high-paced. It was very frenetic. It was very in-your-face action. Doom Eternal, man, I feel like it just tried to add more, and it wasn't doing it for me. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a little bit too much. And again, that could be for me, but hey, that's what this is all about. It was all about the Tooties, the stuff that we did not like this year. Another game I want to just give a shout out to, did not come out this year. Escape from Monkey Island. I played it for the first time. Yeah, fuck it. That game is garbage. And you know, it's
like a text-based game, right?
It's a point and click, but it's like 3D, and it's like it just doesn't.
Yeah, you talked about this. I remember.
Well.
Yeah.
And I'm glad the Monkey Island series has lived on past this, because if that was the way it ended, yikes! It's a shame.
Right. Okay.
That was the case. We have a big Tootie, obviously a big Tootie. Any other Tooties you want to talk about? I'll clean this up a bit. Anything wrestling, TV, or something? Oh, Dark Phoenix, New Mutants?
Not New Mutants. Okay. Not New Mutants so much. I enjoyed New Mutants.
Okay.
I did. Dark Phoenix was trash.
Okay.
Dark Phoenix started off good, and then it was just hot garbage.
Right, yes.
As soon as you introduced Jessica Chastain's character,
that was a
fucking
bad move.
Shit. You could have gone such a different way.
Sure.
New Mutants I enjoyed, I think.
Okay.
Not
good enough to get nominated.
No.
Rudy, but not bad enough to get nominated.
Right.
For
I mean, the girl, Anna Taylor-Johnson?
Joy.
Shit.
Very close. You got the initials right.
I know. There were points where her bitchy magic was a little much, but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
That's fair. So I think though for the Tooties Lifetime Achievement Award, and I know time is a construct, It's 2020.
Absolutely. 2020 was the fucking worst.
Right, yeah. From starting off with fucking wildfires and political unrest and
Kobe Bryant
unrest, the death of celebrities, countless celebrities, wrestlers, personalities, and a lot of it just kind of it's like a snake eating its own tail stuff, man. It's to label 2020 is not to say that, hey, January through December sucked. It was the labeling of this culmination of a worldwide pandemic and the absolute botch handling of it with the people that we've elected to lead us, and also the society that has been just simmering with rage and unrest for good or bad, or for their own reasons, or for agendas, and it's just been a nonstop. And then there were murder hornets for a hot second, and then
thank God those murder hornets did not come.
And then Taco Bell took the quesadillas away. It's just
Taco Bell fucked up your order.
Yeah, they did.
That was today.
That's 2021. 2021. Tootie of the it's already been a bad. Should have made a joke.
Yeah, right.
Should have been. It's a bad year already. But anyway, we're just 2020 has just not been good.
It's not been good. Ya Boyz, we struggled for a couple of months because we were doing our shows virtually.
Yep.
For 3 months, our last show was our Austin celebration.
Yeah,
and,
which was a good episode.
It was,
and then to not have that dynamic of
being together,
of Tom sitting next to me, I'm sitting next to him, sort of stuff. We did suffer. We were able to recover, I feel.
Yeah, no, totally.
The numbers don't show it, but whatever. I feel like more people should be listening to the podcast. Maybe that's why it's competition, but whatever. Also, we're over 4,000 downloads year to date.
We are?
Lifetime.
Word.
So there's that to say out of it. Personally speaking, I've been out of work due to shutdown and injury for the gross majority of the year, which is just a very weird feeling.
I've just been mentally
Tom has been working that entire time.
Mentally.
So go figure.
Yeah, mentally beaten, destroyed, and just, I said it to you, yes, 2020 sucked. But I've had people in my life that have really helped me, make it through.
Sure.
So
Same.
It sucked, but it wasn't.
It deserves this Tootie.
It does. But the year in general does.
Yes.
As my personal 2020, I am very thankful for.
I'm thankful for coming out of it.
Yes,
is really
absolutely.
what it's all about. Not oh my God, it's over, but I got
Which is
engaged. I'm, I've lived this life that I can now have an experience on.
Yeah.
That's it. There were some financial boons that came with unemployment benefits that have helped me in the long run.
Sure.
So I can't say that every day this year has been awful. It has not.
I'm 95% out of debt.
So there you go. However, it is rightfully so that we give this Tootie to the year 2020.
Yes. Nice.
You boys let me out one last time to sign off on these 2020 Rudies and Tooties. For the Rude Boys, this is Michael Morbius. I will be sucking their plasma!
And on that note, Rude Nation, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Bonnie, for announcing the nominees. Thank you, Michael Morbius. Hopefully see you in the upcoming year in your feature film, Sony Pictures, Morbius, starring Jared Leto.
God, I hope.
And for Tom, I'm Sherm. I'm Tom.
For sure, I'm Tom.
That's been the Rudies. Thank you so much for joining us, Rude Nation. Our next episode in our routine that we do is we are going to look forward to the year ahead, 2021. Get that hype train rolling. We are huge fools for last year, but maybe we'll replay last year and put it on this one, because a lot of the shit did not come out.
And I'm so annoyed because I I worked on...
That's the wrap it up alarm, sorry.
I worked on just rattling shit off.
You did do that.
And
so,
that annoys me that none of it happened.
If you want to listen to, how time makes fools of us all,
yes.
the 2020 hype episode. Episode 63, a little too shock jockey. That's when we take the hype train for 2020, and apparently it runs right off the goddamn rails.
Yeah, and that's when we discovered the soundboard, and we just went full ham with it.
And we thought we weren't going to use it, but guess what?
Womp womp.
Damn it, what's the...
Yeah, just give it up. Man, you have so much editing you do.
So yes, we got the hype train rolling. We are still going to look forward for all the video games, all the movies, all the television stuff, all the wrestling things that might hopefully be happening. Hopefully everything will be different in the next... obviously, it didn't change in the past 2 days since per recording, but hopefully we'll see what happens.
I mean, I was hearing rumors that the Royal Rumble may have a few live people there.
I hope so. And we'll talk. We will talk about that in the upcoming episodes. We are on social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can find us at RudeBoyz469. So twitter.com/RudeBoyz469, Facebook.com/RudeBoyz469, and Instagram.com/RudeBoyz469. Like we've mentioned earlier in the show, we have a YouTube page.
We have a YouTube?
Yes, we do, Tommy.
Shit.
bit.ly/RudeBoyzRudeTube, all lowercase. And that's usually it for the social media that I talk about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, which you can ask your Echo Dot of choice, I'm not saying it out loud to startle her, to play the newest Rude Boys Power Hour, and it will better fucking play. I don't know what to tell you. Let me know if it doesn't. But you can hit us up on our home away from home, which is the Podbean network, and we are located there at rudeboys.podbean.com.
Drop that 2021 bean!
If you want to hit me up on social media, I'm at Tesherms, TEH_SHERMS.
You can get me at Tommy_Cash 80, and that's cash with a K.
Yes, you gave me a little... It was a pregnant pause there. I was very...
He's gonna fuck it up like he always does. I have not fucked it up in a while.
Maybe like 2 episodes. So, Nation, thank you for joining us. This was a great Rudies. Thank you all involved. Thank you to our nominees. Thank you to our winners. Thank you to our Tooties. Thank you, Nation. Thank you for sticking with us with this real Tootie of a year.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time on the Rude Boys Power Hour Plus.
This has been a presentation of the Rude Boys Podcast Network.
Oops.